We'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. And today's date is June 11th, 2024. Like I said, at 6 o'clock here at the Powell County Emergency Operations Center, Commerce Drive and Stanton. If you want to, let's all go ahead and stand and say our pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. All right, Ms. Connie, if you don't care, if you can call roll.
Judge Barnes.
Here.
Dale Bowen.
Here.
Dennis Combs. Mike Walker.
Here.
Robert Kenny. Chad Pack.
Here. All right, we do have a quorum. All right, Kevin, do we have anybody on the sign?
Just one call in. Oh, no, I'm sorry. We have,
All right, first one, we have area covered. Are you gonna call him now?
I can, whenever you get ready.
Okay. We'll go ahead and let Mr. Bird, Mr. Estep, go first.
We just come to the podium?
Yeah, just come on up and whatever you do, just don't start preaching.
All right, I'm gonna do that. My name's Al Brewer. I'm the president of the Powell County Flying Club. And we've got an issue considering a hangar on lease on it for the land or whatever. And this has been dragging on for over a year. And we were just kind of asked for a settlement on it to where we stand. I had to do a $625 repair on the building. We believe the building is ours. We've been paying taxes on it, and there's been banter about for a land lease, of which we're totally for, and then just go ahead and get it rolling, so you know where we stand for the future.
Okay. Robert, you got anything on that?
Well, you know, we have discussed that. I think that we probably ought to have a discussion about the whole process of that lease, because I think there are differing ideas about what that lease should look like, where the monies for the lease should go, what the actual lease will involve. And I'm getting hit from a lot of different angles. I'm getting hit from the, you know, to draft an airport lease as the Powell County attorney that'll satisfy the FAA, that will satisfy the flying club. And as I understand, the rents from that, they believe will not go to Powell County, that will go to the flying club itself. Am I correct about that? That the airport board believes that the money from the rents or the leases on those hangars will be deposited over to the airport board?
No. Oh, to the airport board.
Airport
Yeah.
board.
You said flying.
Yeah,
Yes,
I've got-
that's from what I understand.
Is that
That's
correct?
my understanding, yeah.
Okay.
So, such that, my belief is that any amount of rents that are collected out there, possibly may not even go to the county.
Okay.
So,
Oh, go ahead.
that's kind of where we're at. So let me tell you where I'm at. I have contacted, at least started that process, I've contacted a person at the County Airport. Because the meeting I had with Hanson, basically said that, they believe that it needs to be a fair market value lease. I believe that's the first thing I need to do is contact them, just to see what they have, because obviously that's the closest. Now, it's a little bigger airport than what we have, but.
Yeah, and we had a meeting at the airport board the other night.
Right.
And there was discussion about, was it 4 cents a square foot, or?
I believe it is. We're just,
versus others. And one of the things that was brought up about the ownership, And, you know, correct me if I'm wrong, but you know, back when, wherever, if I'm understanding this correctly, back whenever they established the airport board and building the hangars, they had a lease there, and on the lease, the price was dropped, to have the people build the hangars. And once that 20 years, 30 years, I forget exactly what date it was, but once that, was finished, then, you know, the hangars and the property both, you know, it still belongs to the county, but, you know, it just basically gave them a lower rate to be able to build it, and basically give, you know, by lower rate, it kind of gave the money back to them.
Well, but we're also paying the taxes on that building, and have so regularly. So,
Yeah, I don't understand that,
Well-
and that's something that, you know, we'll have to get with PVA and them to see exactly, you know.
from what I understand, there was an agreement that didn't get signed off because of elections and such, that
Uh-huh.
they were gonna give us the hangar again for 50 years for $1. That's what they signed off on. Now, who's on their name?
Who did that? Who signed off that?
Well, I don't know who was the prior judge.
Judge Anderson.
Right, okay.
Our judge.
So, that was in the mix, but never got signed off because he was, I guess not voted out. I don't sound crass.
If I could throw something out, the FAA really frowns on long-term leases and would like the 50-year
Well,
leases.
and let me, I'm trying to shut this off. We're wanting to text message again. So please pardon me just a second. I can't do 20 things. But, you know, my opinion on that is a 50-year lease for $1.
I'm just bearing the news.
Yeah.
Hondo was the president at the time,
Uh-huh.
and that was in the works, and then when it come time to re-elect,
Yeah.
we were thinking it was in the works, but however, it got dropped.
What, did you come to the fiscal court meeting? And
I
talk to
wasn't,
them?
I wasn't part of the club at the time. So,
I remember putting Hondo and I think it's Jesse Nolan and somebody else, we turned it in. I think it was during COVID or something, we were on a Zoom call with that.
Yeah.
I had it-
So you know anything about
I never did,
50-year
there
lease?
wasn't nothing he brought up about the lease, I don't know if that was in the
We're,
works.
we're not asking for that, we just want fair. I mean,
Yeah.
I think we put money into it, and like I said, we had to do a repair on it.
Mhm.
That if it wasn't done, I guess the airport board would have to do it, and we're talking 625, it's not a lot. But you-
So
But
how much does people pay for their hangar, fees now?
Well, I'm not the one
Does
to
it
ask
differ,
that.
or?
Well, it depends on the size.
Mhm.
So, what we kind of agreed upon is that we rent the land and then we take care of the hangar ourselves. Like it's ours, pay the taxes on it and such.
Mhm.
But we want it to be fair, cause some have hangars that belong to the board or whatever.
And was that agreement made by the previous administration? or-
No, I think it's what's going on, but I was forced to do a repair, and we just still don't know what the future is, and I'm kinda worried about it, because if it's the airport board's responsibility to do the hangar repair, we just paid for it, so, out of our part, plus the taxes,
Mhm.
so, not arguing, not complaining.
If you wanna come down to the office one day, we'll take a trip over to PVA
Uh-huh.
and let them kind of pull everything up, and then, you know, we can look at the previous history of the taxes and stuff like that to see.
I don't see why anybody would be paying taxes. It's
Yeah.
not, they don't own the property.
Yeah,
The
well,
county
that's-
owns the property, the county owns the
that-
property tax.
Yeah, that's, I don't
So
understand.
I don't.
We're paying taxes on the building,
Right,
not the property.
nothing,
I've been there for 4 years and I pay property tax every year.
As
City-
personal property?
City and county, yes.
It's personal property.
Personal property.
So whose name is the property in?
Well, the building, I guess, is in clubs and mine's in my name.
right, ours, it's in our name.
I'm in my hangar by myself, they're into a club, so it's a different deal. Chuck rents a hangar from the board, So, it's all different.
Privately owned hangars.
Privately.
I
And this man sitting here is
It sounds amazing.
this man's wanting to build a brand new hangar and bring 2 planes to the field, and we can't do anything because
And we welcome it.
But I need a lease.
That's
a problem.
But-
Well, this is the problem, so this is the problem as I understand it. Nobody dealt with it for how many years?
many years.
And it never would have been an issue had that new airport project not came up and the FAA jumped in and said, we gotta have some sort of standard lease. Otherwise, because of the grant money that's involved, you're gonna get,
Well, you can look on the internet and pick out 15 leases today that's going in these airports. And they have lease fees, how much they charge per foot, per year. It's not a monthly rent, it's a yearly rent
For rental.
for the land lease. Average price is 7 cents per foot for the year, not for the month. See, if we do it by the month, we're paying the same amount of rent as the board's charging for hangars that belong to the board. Now, if we're upkeeping the building paying property tax, we can't pay the same amount of rent that somebody rent the building.
what is everybody's belief that the county's involvement will be in these rents and leases
Well,
once these,
Say the new ones, right? Say you build 2 new hangars.
well, he wants to build a new hangar, so he needs a lease that you're not gonna come back in a year or 2 years and say, well, we're gonna raise your rent or lease X number of dollars, and then he's gonna have to dig up his hangar and leave.
But yeah.
How much rent are you paying per year?
I'm not paying any rent, I own my hangar, I've owned it since I bought it.
Do you pay anything else?
No,
We pay property tax.
what I think has happened is that it was like a $50 or 50 years for $1, and that ran out. And so they went to renew it for the same amount, and then time stopped. So we're limbo, cause we don't know, cause we had to fix the hangar, or
Chuck,
planes
are you familiar how much money they're collecting, or how much the airport board's collecting off of rent per year out there?
Yeah, that'd be roughly $1,400, $1,200 of that is, which is mine.
You rent a hangar.
We're only collecting rent on 2 hangars. Mine, that's hangar 2 and hangar 3. I'm in hangar 3. I'm paying $100 a month, and that's where I established the basis off the size of my hangar coming down to 4 cents a square foot.
The other hangars are privately owned.
Well, I don't see how it could be privately owned on county property.
They own the
Well,
hangars.
if he builds a hangar.
They own the hangar, but not the land.
If he builds a hangar, he owns the hangar.
So
He's gonna pay property tax.
But that's why you need
And
a lease.
I'm just throwing this out, but so what if and we're not, okay? But what if the county decides to sell that for?
Well,
What happens to your hangar?
then you're out.
Well, we would take our hangar with us. Start another airport.
so, but maybe I'm missing this. So you got nominal rent for 50 years. With the idea being that you build a hangar and that hangar becomes the county property because you're not paying anything other than to build the hangar for 50 years. And then at the end of the 50 years, you're saying, okay, we paid no rent and we're gonna take the hangar.
But we pay
No,
taxes
no.
throughout that whole time.
No, you can't do that. At the end of this lease, okay, let's start all over. You mentioned Mount Sterling earlier. I've built 18 hangars over there, different, big hangars,
Yeah.
big money.
Yeah.
Okay, they lease that land for a amount of money per year. The guy owns that hangar until his lease runs out. It reverts back to the airport. If he's still alive in 20
That's
years,
right. Yeah.
if he's still alive in 20 years and wants to stay, he gets the option to keep it until he walks
Well,
away.
but that's entirely different than what you seem to be saying is,
No.
I own that hangar, is what you're
Well,
saying.
he owns it until he leaves it. If you pay property tax on something, somebody owns it, somebody gotta own it.
But once that 50-year lease is up,
And
then
he has an option.
there's negotiations for another lease.
Right, exactly.
And that lease should not be nominal,
No,
cause.
Well, now,
That
I
one needs to
wasn't
be paid.
about
Yeah.
the prior lease agreement that didn't happen, but we're still paying taxes on that
But
building.
I tell you what, if you don't care, just call one day, come down, let us get all, we'll walk through and get the PBA records and the tax records and all this stuff.
Sure, okay with me.
And after we do that, then, we can have a little meeting about what we found and what we can do and what's legal and all that, because right now, unless the court overrules me, we're not gonna do anything tonight,
I understand.
That's what
We just want to get the ball
Yeah,
rolling.
well, and that's, and so I'm throwing it back over your court, you call me and.
Can I get a number? You got a card?
I've got one out in the car. but,
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, thanks.
Some of them hangers, like my hanger, it needs a lot of work done to it.
Yeah.
Expensive work.
And that's.
So, the one you did the repair on, who owns it? Is that?
The
That's,
foot-
well,
Is that
we
a
think
real
we
one?
own it because we're paying taxes
That's
on it.
debatable.
It's right.
It's up in there.
But we did the repairs, we've been keeping it up.
Yeah.
And the airport board hasn't and can't, I don't think. So, I mean,
But,
if you,
and I know that I may be not seeing this right, and I'm sorry, but it seems to me that there's been no rent paid because you were supposed to build and maintain the hangars.
That's right.
Right,
We're doing
and now at the end of this, everybody's saying our hangars are destroyed and we need to do stuff to them.
Now our 50 years is up.
And
now
we
get
pay
to
no
keep-
rent, but
yeah,
the
we get to
hangars
keep the
are
hangars,
paid.
yeah. But let's.
but we're not trying to get you to pay for it, we're just trying to know whose ownership
Let's
to
research
move
it.
forward.
Let's research it and see what we
Yeah.
can
Who
do.
is on there?
Chuck is the chairman, then Chelsea Nolan, Glenn Sayers, who else? You, Chelsea, Glenn,
J.R. Wallace.
JR. Big man. Yeah.
I would think that we need to have a meeting with the airport board to start the ball rolling.
Yeah, well, they.
See what they know.
Yeah, they had a meeting
Last week.
last week, and I was invited to it, so we went up
Okay.
and listened, so, and that's basically the same complaint then is what we've got now.
Well, but the scenario's reared its ugly head, our door had no choice but to be repaired.
Yeah.
Or we're not gonna be able to get that plane out, so. And it's Powell County Flying Club, it's not, Mount Sterling, it's,
Yeah.
planes here, it's been here all of its life.
And that's the thing, I wanna do what's right,
Well, we do too, and I'm not complaining, I don't mind if we can agree on the land, we'll pay rent on it, and then we'll, if we continue paying taxes, I don't care, but we want it fair, we shouldn't be charged for both, and then still have to keep
But
it.
it needs to be in an agreement.
I agree,
Yeah.
that sounds great,
So
I
we'll do
appreciate
that,
it.
and, then after we get all the research done, and,
Go from
we'll
there.
get together and sit down and discuss it, that's all right,
All right, appreciate it.
Billy, did you want?
No, I was just saying, I mean, whatever our lease is, it can't be the same amount as somebody's paying rent.
Does anybody have a copy of the lease?
No. We don't have one, that was, I mean, mine was.
Well, I'm talking about the old lease. Does anybody have a copy of it? So, and again,
My plane's been here since '78.
I might have a copy of what was proposed,
That's what I'm gonna.
and I might have it on my phone, I just need to look.
is it,
But that was 2 years ago-ish?
well, I'm looking at the one that hit 50 years ago.
Yeah, I couldn't
You know,
come to
what-
there.
What this thing is. So, all right, well, just get with me and let's see what we can do.
Thank you.
All right, thank y'all, we appreciate it. Next you wanna
Call Eric.
call Eric over?
Who's gold?
Hey Eric, it's Larry here at the Powell County 911 Center. You got a moment? All right, buddy. Well, here, I'm gonna put you on, we're in the middle of the fiscal court meeting. I put you on the agenda of speech, so Here, any questions they may have, or you may have, if you're on the speakerphone. I am, yes, the whole fiscal court's here, well, three magistrates and Eddie.
I just wanna make sure Eddie tried to call me too, so I wanted to make sure that, he was there with you all.
Yes, he is.
I was just waiting for you to call me. Eric, can you hear me? Doing good, I was just making sure you didn't call me Brandon. So. Alright, go ahead, buddy.
What can I answer your questions for, gentlemen?
Is the closing of the roadway gonna be Friday and Saturday night, or Friday and Saturdays, or just, Saturday?
Correct. It's Thursday and Saturday, from 8 to 5. We did submit to the state, to be open every 15 minutes at every hour. The state transportation department said there's no need for that, and it will be closed 8 to 5, even though for Friday, it will be 8 to 3:30. They said just go ahead and keep it the same for both days.
Okay, so are you gonna do any drifting on Friday?
Correct, sir.
You are?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay, JL's here too.
Okay.
Hey, yeah.
Practice runs, Friday, and that's a good time for anybody inside the fiscal court, anybody inside the county, as far as, get a position. We are a happy village, take the time to show the car, but also with a waiver, and, of course, wear a helmet, all device, you're gonna be allowed to go in that car, as long as you can fit inside that car and be strapped in and give you that experience.
Yeah, I just think I guess what I've got questions to ask is during all this communication back and forth, I'm driving, so I haven't got to keep up with all the emails. But the issue I have is I had no idea of it being Friday, so we got to back up and hunt. We only have 3 message boards. Mr. Kincaid was wanting 4, and so I don't know what we can do there, maybe borrow one or something.
Most cities got one.
I can bring you one tomorrow from Jackson County, if need be.
Okay. And then the other part of it is we're gonna set up traffic control outside of our county for exit 40 that we really don't have any jurisdiction over. That's Wolf County.
Well, what we discussed in the traffic plan that we submitted to Mr. Kincaid and Mr. Moore and, Mr. Ballinger, was the 2 road signs would be on each side of the exit going to the roads where residents are allowed to pass through, but the road will be closed past the residential house on the back side of the campus side coming in. That's where we will stop, and they will turn around and go back down the hill right there.
Okay. All right. And
If, Mr. Kincaid wants 4 signs, if you all have 3, I can drive my truck and borrow a sign from Jackson County in the morning and bring it over.
okay. Well, in discussing this with Kevin, our EM director, and in my 2 cents worth in it is, it takes 2 message boards to handle both exits, or both detours. To be fair.
I'm more than glad to know.
Okay.
Jackson County and grab a sign in the morning.
Now, they discussed putting a detour sign, and we don't necessarily have any detour signs. I'm not gonna go to another construction site, they do camp and steal some, but they probably won't want that. So I
Meeting, I
don't
guess,
know what
somewhere else.
they said.
It's sort of communication barrier from them to us, has really fell off, and no disrespect to the state transportation department. We're following the best of our understanding of the transportation. I did have a conversation with Mr. Moore again yesterday about what's required.
Yeah.
And, tell him about the signage and all that. But it's, the notice board is really looking for traffic in the general public is seeing on a detour sign.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I'm just, the conversation that I had, because they put me down as a traffic supervisor, and I really haven't had time to even to do this correctly. So I just want to make sure we get this straight, and we don't have any.
I completely understand, and, like I said, I we'll give them tomorrow. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and Kevin and I will have to get with the fire department, because I'd only talked to him about Saturday, it's only convenient, so we'll have to work out that on Friday also, and we may have to get some extra resources, because it's volunteer, and, you know, some people work on Friday, so.
I'm gonna let them,
Yeah,
and,
we-
yeah, the understanding from get-go was Friday and Saturday, and I apologize.
Okay, all right, well, we'll figure it out. Kevin, I'll put it all on Kevin, he gets what gets done anyway.
I didn't know nothing about this till the last board meeting, so, I mean, I'm just now getting to look at the land. And I have no resources available, it's during the CSEP week, so we've got other things going on with, equipment that needs to be repaired. We'll make it happen, but this is very difficult.
Well, I do apologize for that, sir, I guess it's my fault for not communication, is this the road department I'm thinking, or who am I talking to?
EM, emergency management, one for placing the signs.
I understand, Kevin, well, I do apologize for not communicating with you on this, and no disrespect, when I said that, I thought you were part of the conversation, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no problem, I understand, and there's a lot of moving parts, I had no idea Friday was in the picture, so I don't know what we're gonna do about Friday.
Whatever we can figure out, I can pull in another fire department from another county or whatever to help relieve, we can easily do that, I can make a couple phone calls, we have no problem doing it, we're gonna do a donation to the volunteer fire department anyway. And also our volunteer firemen, if they want to, they will be given an opportunity to ride one of them cars as well.
Okay,
That would be hard for them.
It's a real program, whoever wants to do it.
okay, I'll work it out, I'll get with the fire chief, and if they need mutual aid from Wolf or Lee County, they handle that, they can get that, we'll work it out.
Okay. We really honestly need two firemen, one for each side of the road and a truck.
Yeah.
To be able to do this underneath insurance.
Yeah, and we will get that, like as Kevin says, we're a little bit stressed for equipment because of the other exercises going on, so we may have to actually rely on mutual aid, but we can do that, that's not a problem. I just wanna make sure we're clear on it, that's, you know, I was trying to, yeah, I just wanna make sure we're clear. And the other thing that I have to do is because I got into this late, part of the Saturday, I won't be there, but I have another traffic control supervisor coming from my company to fill in till I get back. So there'll always be one of us on site.
Okay, and this is all new for me with the traffic control supervisor.
Yeah.
I've done many things on national border state roads in the past, state in West Virginia's prime example. Once it's set, don't need a traffic control supervisor after that.
The issue is using the Mountain Parkway. That's what brings that in.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, but, you know, whatever we can do, gentlemen, and I do hate that this came last minute from state and all the new things that they threw on us to make it happen. But I really believe that this is gonna be a very good thing, a positive thing for Powell County.
Oh, I'm all for it. We just wanna make it all go put together and work seamlessly. Mountain Parkway is the detour. Yeah, the Mountain Parkway is the detour.
I got you. And whatever I can do, gentlemen, Dale or just Eddie, if you all don't matter, Larry, can you give everybody my phone number? But tomorrow I'll be back and, I will call Jamie Strong when we get off here. And as soon as I get up in the morning, about 7 o'clock, I will grab a traffic control sign and bring you with me.
Okay, and the other thing I need to make sure of, and like I said, there's been so many emails, and I've been traveling for work, is the last email, the way I understand it, the state has signed off on that plan, is that correct? The one from, yeah, it's from Jedediah, is who I got it from.
We submitted everything again today with the changes that the state had asked us to change, and I submitted that with the insurance policy that has the city of Stanton, Powell County Fiscal Court, Kentucky Department of Transportation, and our organization
Yeah.
We have a $300,000 insurance policy for damage, and they will have a performance bond, and in the world of motorsports that I've been entitled to for the past 20 years, we never had to get a bond before. And so we had the insurance company reach out to Mr. Moore today and explain how this works, and whatever the court may go, is not to claim insurance, if there is damage to a guardrail, we'll pay for it. You know
Oh,
what I mean?
yeah, I understand, and I think we cleared that hurdle with the contractor that has already got the maintenance contract for that stretch of highway. Did you all video the road before they start, or are you gonna do that when you get here?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir. I actually went today and did the first round video, and I will do it again, Thursday, and I will do it again Friday, and I will do it again Saturday after it's done.
okay. The other question I have on the emergency plan is, it says that you have made agreements with the air evac helicopter in the area, but you don't list who that is.
I can get that for you. It's the medevac. I need the contact number. I can text that to you, gentlemen, when I get on the phone.
Okay, because in case, and we hope nothing happens, but the other part is you've got this coordinates up for the LZ for that, and I don't know where that's at without looking at a topo map, figuring it out. Do you know where it would be? I mean, the sensible thing would be the Middle Fork helipad. You don't have to even have nothing, it's ready to go, so.
Oh, we can easily change the coordinates of that with the safety plan, but we can do an addendum to that if that's what you want.
I recommend that, because I don't wanna, we're gonna be probably short on people, and if we had set up an LZ in a strange territory, that takes up more people when we've already got one, a licensed helipad, so.
Okay, and which helipad was that?
It's at the Middle Fork Firehouse. It is an approved licensed helipad by FAA and the Kentucky Department of Transportation, so.
Do a minimum for helipad, and I will get you the company and the contact for the helicopter.
Yeah, I just need to know, we just need to know that, so our dispatcher know who to call, or that this agreement's already worked out, because there's three services this area.
Kentucky too, and then the one out of Sanger.
REVAC.
West Liberty.
Yeah, REVAC. So there's three different companies, I mean, and they'll roll into the other, but just to save confusion, we wanna make sure they're aware that we make calls.
I understand.
Okay.
I believe it's real quick, it is air evac live stream.
Okay.
It's in Hazard.
Where at now? Hazard.
Yeah.
Yeah, the nearest one is in West Liberty, or Kentucky 2 North Road.
Okay. This is what we was given when we called the state, and that's the one they told us to utilize, was the one in Hazard.
You can't trust.
Well, that makes sense. In the future, just talk to the,
This is, I guess where I should have a conversation with emergency management, that's my fault. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I can call tomorrow if emergency management will text me and tell me where they recommend, I will call and get that set up and have them.
We got the CSEP ambulance tomorrow, and a debrief after action report in the afternoon.
so it'll be sometime in the afternoon?
No, it'll be sometime on Thursday. I
It'll be on Thursday before he's available.
I mean, somebody else can do it, I mean.
Are you- Yeah, Larry here at the dispatcher, I ain't gonna say myself, I don't know where I'll be, but just call the dispatcher, tell Larry. Leave a message for Larry, and we'll get that all worked out, put it in place. The fire department that's not a problem, they can roll with it, that's no problem. I don't worry about, I mean, I don't think anything's gonna happen, if it does, we are very well prepared to manage it. But you wanna make sure all this is in place for
Absolutely.
lawyer proofing it down the road.
Yeah, and also one more thing, gentlemen, I did talk to the, resident that lives on Highway 15, the retired professor, I can't remember his name right now.
Dale Sasser.
Yeah, Mr. Sasser, at first he was very standoffish to me, but he was so excited to see something like this coming by his house.
What about, Mr. Cornett, have you talked to him, Al Cornett, the other property owner?
We will not be going nowhere by speed by his house and by the other's house, but I can go to
Okay,
They
okay,
will not be active or on until they pass their residence.
okay,
And those be driving normal speed on the right side of the road. We will have someone stationed there at the driveways.
okay.
This is a marshal, or if they wanna get out, we can make sure that it is completely stopped there, allowed to go to and from as easy as possible.
Okay.
And, like I told him today, we're here to be your neighbor, we're not here to be your enemy.
No, I just, that's what, I wanna see it, I wanna see it go. I mean, like I said, we done the overland thing last weekend, it was a great success, so.
Yep. Huge success, by the way, gentlemen. So,
Yeah.
I mean, Powell County's really fired up in the right direction, and, you know, I wanna be an ally, I wanna be your all's friend, I want this and other things to come, and work with the state, and work with the state transportation in the right manner. This was the first time to do this in southern state, and everybody's just trying to protect themselves, and we all understand that. And, you know, I wanna do a good stand-up job where we can continue to do this. If it's successful and Powell County wants it back, they'll be willing to come back for 5 years, do a 5-year contract, and come back year after year.
Okay.
And then it can explode, and we can really open it up to the public and all that. But this time, up there, we do request, why it's going active, not in stand that night, everybody's welcome to stand. But only, you know, people of profession is allowed to enter in and observe, if that makes sense.
Yes, I understand.
You know, it's me, I mean, so, but if there's any other questions, or whatever I can do, and Mr. Larry, if you will give me the contact for the, helicopter service you recommend to be on standby, I'll contact them tomorrow. And I will call Jamie Strong as soon as I get off here, and I will get a sign, and we'll bring it to Powell County tomorrow morning.
Well, Eric, I'll give you all three numbers, and you all determine from that which one you would like to use. But I'll give you all three base numbers, and then you all work out who would be available and the closest, you know, to be, available during those times.
Understand?
And did you get you a towing company?
Yes, sir, the gentleman you sent, and also Judge Eddie sent me.
Okay.
We did reach out to him, and it is good.
Okay.
They did reach out, they finally got connected today.
Okay, good deal.
Thank you, sir.
Well, Eric, if anything else that any of these guys has got here, I'll give them all your number when we hang up, and they'll have it, and I'll send you the three numbers for the 3 air medical helicopters that are used from the county.
Outstanding, and, where do you want me to bring that road detour sign tomorrow, JL?
I just bring it here to the EOC.
That'd be fine, yeah.
Yeah, 33 Commerce Drive, Eric, where you came that night to the fiscal court meeting.
Yep, I know where you gentlemen are, and I'll gladly, get up in the morning, and grab it, bring it on by, and I'll just take it back with me Saturday night.
All right, that'll work. Thank you, Eric.
Thank you, sir.
Everyone have a wonderful day. Eddie, I'm headed into the pit in Langston. I've got now Boyd County, so I'm on to Langston, see all your other buddies.
All right, see you, buddy. I'll probably see you tomorrow.
Thank you all.
Thank you, Eric.
Have a good one. All right, let's go ahead and, go on. Next thing is, clerk's reported, meeting minutes of May 14th, 2024. Does anybody have any questions on the meeting minutes? Do I have a motion to accept? Motion by Mike, second by Dale. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anybody approve, disapprove likewise? Motion carries. Next is bills submitted for payment. Any questions on the bills submitted for payment?
No, all it is me.
Motion made by Chad, second by JL. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Anybody opposed likewise? Motion carries. Next is approval of the treasurer's financial statement. Any questions on the treasurer's financial statement? Motion made by JL, second by Chad. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Anybody opposed likewise? Motion carries. Next is approval of treasurer's transfer amendments. Any questions on the amendments or transfers?
No.
Motion made by Chad, second by JL. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed likewise? All right. Next is approval of, budget amendments number 5 for second reading. Any questions on that?
And that's already, that's been submitted and okayed by DOG.
Yeah. Yep.
I'll make a motion.
Okay, motion made by Dale, second by Mike. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed likewise? Any old business?
You got a check for yours?
No.
No, same thing, we're gonna have to sue them. That's the simple things,
We went down there the other day.
yeah.
Is that when you were talking to me about, you basically told them?
Yeah, I told him, I said, you have today, you know, if you can do something today, that's fine, if not, we're gonna have to simply sue. No, he didn't even call it nothing, so I'd say we'll go ahead and, we'll go ahead and drop the ball on them and do it, you know. R&R twice. And I think where we do that, you know, it's been, you know, it's been a year and a half, and, you know, they just don't want to cooperate. We've given them time, but we've talked to them and until we're blue in the face,
They was ready to get the money.
Yeah, they want that to happen.
they kept on promising, oh, we're gonna get you the check back, we'll get you money back and all this, and they haven't done anything, so.
I'll make a motion, and county attorney was, process the paperwork, we can done.
No wrong
Go ahead and go on.
Mike
Second, all in favor, signify by saying aye, go ahead and get this done. Aye, anybody opposed likewise? Anything else? All right, next thing, going into department head updates. But yeah, I wanna flip this around a little bit. Larry, you have anything?
I do, we would like, I have two names, change employee status from part-time to full-time. First will be Jackson Freeman, and it'll be the full-time pending. He's already went for the first phases, we're waiting on those results to come back. Philip Frazier do the polygraph, and then at that point, make him full-time, and he'll be about a 1-year contract.
All right. And one thing that I've noticed on Mr. Freeman, he does a good job. He's very conscious about what he does and pretty good on the radio and stuff. Do I have a motion to accept? Motion made by Chad, second by Mike. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Anybody opposed likewise? Okay, motion carries.
Same deal, Catherine Wales, she's part-time. Her and Jackson went the same days, we're waiting on her results to come back, pending passing in of the polygraph to make her full-time as well, with the 1-year contract.
Okay, any questions? Motion? Motion by Chad. Second by Mike. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Anybody opposed likewise? Okay, motion carries. Yeah.
What do you have to do with towns that are gonna pay you back?
I'm waiting on Stephanie to put all that together, then we'll get with Robert to do the letter. We've already talked before, and the fees, and I've provided him with the KRS from the state for reimbursement. We done the monthly siren test this past Saturday. We have the backup plan as well. The first test, there was 4 of the sirens that had a tuning issue, which Ricky's working on that. We've got to go get him a couple more, or 4 more boards. The backup plan worked. That's why we did have a backup plan in place, because he has a handheld radio programmed up to do those. The backup plan worked. All 12 of the sirens are working. We've had an unexpected issue with the radio tower. We would be going to get these other controllers and things like that from Mescal County. So as soon as we get the tower going, we'll be back to get those. We'll have a thing here in front of the map, and we'll do it last. As you all well know, I'll pass these around. We've had tomorrow, we're gonna be turning the Black Creek Tower off, the radio tower. With that said, we're gonna work off of the furnace and the Hinkle. Per Ricky, per Dave Rohr, the radio tech, this will work. They may have a little trouble with the handhelds in the Clay City area. We'll let all fire departments know. Kevin's getting us the parts. There's cement, this Black Creek Tower, the floor is completely gone.
What happened to it? Leak at the air conditioner?
Yes.
That leak air conditioner, evidently had some pre-existing damage, and it just, whenever Red River Ranch, we purchased it from a company out of Alabama. It was transferred up here. Red River Ranch refurbished it, and evidently they just put crap on top of.
Oh, it wasn't a new building?
No, it was not a new building.
The building, the manufacture date is back in 1993. Here's the plan of action. Tomorrow, John Coons, he's gonna come disconnect a generator inside. After we get Dave here with the radio, we switch it to these towers. I'll have Clark Energy come up, pull the meters. We're gonna take this it's a dry transformer inside. We have to get that out. Seems like the more we cut, the more problems we have. This is a fiberglass building, and you can't jack it up because it's under a bar system that holds it. We're gonna store the things. Kevin's gonna get us a spot to store the repeaters in. Self Justin, Neil's brought inmates to help us. Neil's helped us. We're gonna look into it.
Is there any CSEP money to put a new one in?
Well, Kevin's working with
Working with them, and they're saying that they think if it's not an insurance, it's a county problem, if it's not an insurance problem, because it's been in there for 7 years, 8 years. And, we've already spent a couple $1,000s on wood and, to redo the flooring and redo some of the
Take it back?
the house. We can take it back, but, I mean, that was.
We're gonna need
I'm trying to do whatever we can do. The question is whether we can salvage any of the building. Looks, aesthetics, totally aside, with the existing building, it's possible, to reframe it or redo the walls or something. I think, I'm not a carpenter. I think Eddie or Justin said they had a person was coming tomorrow to look at it and see if it's possible. Was it you or somebody said there's a carpenter coming up to take a look at it?
Ricky's helper on the radio, he's really good.
Okay.
I would recommend him take his
I mean, yeah, like JL said, I've seen where rot has been really bad and it's fixable, so I don't know.
Good.
We can't see the roof.
The roof has it has an ice shield on top of it, and as far as, again, without tearing everything out and everything down, we can't figure out, other than the air conditioning, we can tell where that comes from. When there was an old wall unit, we seen some moisture coming in from it. I can't figure out why it went all the way around the whole, cap plate, other than the fact that I think there was 2 or 3 floors put in there, a floor on top of the floor.
The more you cut, the more you find it's falling in.
It could have easily been, whatever River Ranch redid it, they could have easily just capped what they had and made it.
It's very
lipstick
possible.
on pig.
I'm gonna look at this, it's very possible that that water could just follow the.
Could have just seen it around?
Yeah, follow that metal.
Well, it's got a lean to it, Joe. They've got it leaning to one side to shed the water like toward the other state police tower. Chad came up and looked at it today, because I'd rather you all have one of your group look at it, so you don't just take our word for what it is.
It's rough.
Here's the thing, the materials have to be packed up in a pickup truck. The road going up there is pretty steep. You know, it's a very confined area that you're gonna work in, because it's under a chain link fence. It's got a generator in the front, it's got a propane tank in the rear.
So when was this building put up there?
It was put up there in, 2018, 2017.
So, I guess, question, other than being fiberglass, what's so special about this building?
There's nothing, I mean, we could totally replace the building, put the building up.
Because,
It's just the hoops that you want to jump through to place.
well,
Yeah.
what I'm saying is in 2018, you know, instead of us just building a building up there, why do we have to buy a building from Alabama, have it transferred up here, and then put it up there?
I totally agree with what you're saying.
And, you know, I heard by somebody that it costs $6,000 just to take it from Black Creek Road.
It was a little over
up-
$5,000, like
Up the hill.
I couldn't see that.
It was from,
And, you know,
it was from truck body up to the
Yeah.
thing. I mean, that's what the cost was. I mean, it is what it is. The CSEP paid for 100% of that. Whether they're gonna pay for replacement or repair, I'm still waiting on, this exercise going on right now is slowing things
Yeah,
down.
yeah, I understand. I just think that back then that was a waste of money,
Well,
you know.
there's a lot of things that I've done as far as government goes that I don't understand. When you're grounding a $35,000 fence with $35,000 worth of material. I don't understand those
Yeah.
things.
Here's the deal, we don't wanna Band-Aid this. 2 years, we'll be back in there.
No.
Well, you can't, it's getting up there. I talked to the state police, it worked out really well. The state police tech was up there the first day of this. They had to have a crane. Their building was $50,000. It's a concrete pour. But it's confined. That's what I'm saying. If we don't wanna get into pulling underground and probably pulling, Chad, what do you say, 250 feet of underground off of Clark Energy's service pole to get us over to it, we don't wanna mess up in the front. We can take a gate, a section of fence down the side if we have to build it back, take the supplies, build in, and build a building. That's what I asked Kevin.
That's what I think, block, you get that out of there and block it up where that was.
Yeah, I mean,
The block building's fine, I mean, it's better getting the block up there and getting it laid.
Here-
Whatever the plan is, whether it's a carpenter or a block building, I mean, I'll be happy to take that to state and see what we can do.
here's what we gotta get. We've gotta figure out to get this product up there.
It's the far and the hard.
Well, it is. It's gonna be such a hard pull, because of that hill. If you've got a load of block, you're probably gonna have to unload at the bottom, like me and Chad were talking about, set them off on a flatbed, go up.
That's one of the reasons why it was so expensive last time. They had to use a special trailer that had wheels on the back to turn, they pulled it up on this flatbed looking trailer, and they had a piece of heavy equipment to lift it around 2 or 3 of the sharp curves. But as far as getting blocks up there, I mean, if that's doable, I don't see no reason why we take that ton of equipment out, if we got a plan to resolve it. Either, get a carpenter up there to look at the structural integrity of it and see if there's any way of rebuilding it within what we have.
Well, here's the thing, that we've gotta get that equipment out of there before this weekend. When that humidity comes up, even though it's got air conditioners, you're losing all of it, so we're gonna get all that out tomorrow. I'll get all the fire departments, let them know they are gonna be working off of 2 towers, so they don't have any issue with, and their radios, the handhelds may not work down there, but it's an all new system. But we cannot lose all this new equipment that he's got us through CC because of a building.
We'll get it out there, but the thing is, to try to do this as quickly as possible. So
We'll be done tomorrow.
I'm good at taking whatever we wanna do
Our biggest
forward.
problem is figuring out what kind of building we want.
Well, we're gonna cut in more. When this dry transformer comes out, it's a 400-pound unit. When John Coons cuts that loose tomorrow, Dave switches the radios, make sure they hold. Clark Energy's gonna pull the meter. At that point, we'll set that out, and then we'll see what these walls do. Is Justin's cut more today? You can look down the side of it. Your walls, if already went out this far, if it just completely sets down, we've got it lost it all. We've got to be careful to pull it up, the structure to drag it back in, because it's only sitting on 2 I-beams. It's a metal frame floor like you go to Lowe's and put in a storage building, but it's sitting on a couple of I-beams. But it's got an ice rack that goes over it in bolts to keep another section, the wind from blowing it over. It has no anchoring other than this ice.
At top.
At top, exactly.
Main thing is we get it fixed.
Oh, yeah, I mean, let's get, he's got us the things we need started, and
And guys, thank y'all for, all 3 of you for grabbing the bull by the horn and
No,
getting it
we'll get it done, it's just a matter of, the court needs to understand that the cost, it's gonna have to be done,
And if CSEP refuses to pay for it, anything like that, that's something we might, contact Senator McConnell's office and see.
well, we
if they-
can also contact Cato, we have
Yeah.
insurance.
Yeah.
If this is a.
Is it insured?
Yeah,
it's
it
insured.
should be insurance.
here's the thing, everything, this web is 2271 Black Creek. AT&T Tower is 2271B Black Creek, it has an address. When Ricky builds these in, each of these tower sites, along with these siren sites, are gonna have their own address. Through the state police, through their microwave, they have an internal loop that you cannot get into, it's not by link. You can get into it where, and I asked Dave, the internet up there through the microwave, we can monitor the radiator, the temperatures, the amount of fuel that the generator, when the generator starts, and all. Dave's willing to help us hook all of that up when we get this building deal, but we've got to have a structure to put it in first.
Is there a spec on that building that it has to be, because it's got all that equipment in it?
They only really not, cause that one wouldn't have passed it.
It's got, well, the reason why it's got a fiberglass shield on it.
That's what I was wondering with a block,
No, the other agencies have block building, it's just a
I
matter
don't know
of.
what's beside it.
The state police, they're forward, and that's what he said,
It's
you
just
have
a
to
matter
have
of
a crane.
making sure it's insulated and like you said, it's.
Well insulated, it don't matter, we'll do the work, you know, unless we send it out like this.
Ground rods for lightning strike?
Oh,
Well,
it's
no,
all
it has to be all
grounded.
grounded, you'll have to maintain the grounding system inside, that's different though.
Yeah.
But if we can get an actual plan as far as, if you, tomorrow you should know, or Thursday the latest, whether it
We'll know
needs to be, framed up, or if it has to be totally torn down. I mean, whatever has to be done is what we need to take the seats out and see what they'll pay for.
Yeah, main thing, just let us know
Yeah,
tomorrow.
when we take it apart, we're gonna, the design will go back, if it's a new building, where all the electricity goes back. We don't have to pull this underground.
Can you send them pictures to CSAP?
I've already done sent pictures, as he said, yeah, I mean, I've told him.
I've seen them the insurance agency.
We were,
Yeah, if, you know, I, you know, be honest with you, prefer first to look at CSAP, see if they can, because we.
Right, yeah, we don't want-
Yeah.
We just don't wanna have to come back to y'all to get an approval, you know, next month, because we gotta fix it
They'll-
this month.
Yeah, you know, if nothing else, we'll have, yeah, whatever, I don't know what to ask the fiscal court for, as far as how much money goes without knowing about CSAP, but.
We ain't got a price.
Yeah,
Let's
let's
fix it.
But it has to be fixed.
Yeah, that's what I say, it's,
Well,
we're not
no,
price
it-
gouging.
It has to be fixed. But give CSAP first, and if CSAP don't wanna pay for it, you know, we will cost.
I think if we have to
pay.
build, I think Brock's the cheapest route.
Yeah, but once, if they deny it, then we'll contact our insurance company and ask them.
Yeah, we got plenty of documentation as we go along, we, it ain't like we just, you know.
All right. Anything else, Larry?
Do we need to make a
We've got
motion
it.
that puts them, the committee to make those decisions without having to come back and vote next month? Cause this has to be fixed.
Yeah, it has, you know.
And we need,
I think
we
that-
should know about what it's gonna cost.
Yeah, it'd be good, and you said you might know tomorrow, so what we.
Well, it depends, yeah, I mean,
Ballpark. And I just need ballpark.
yeah, well, we got a structure, then you're gonna have to, we've gotta figure out, John can cut it loose. We'll get help to put the electricity back, we'll mount it, it'll be looked at, we'll get it put back. Those items, now like the AC units, you know, if you go with block, there are those wall units like that are in a, say for instance, a motel.
Yeah.
So if, that may have to have a heat and air guy to pull that and put that back and seal that, so it really depends on who we have to get to do these certain things.
Well, the contractor can.
The one that.
We might be the contractor,
The
though,
heating,
it's
the
not work.
Larry, the heating and air that, has the external, unit that goes in with the head on it, it's simple to put in there.
It don't have that though. It's just a unit sticks through the wall, it ain't got this mini split.
No, yeah.
It ain't a mini split, it's a,
So is it something that while we're doing it, replace the?
he's done put new ones in, haven't you?
Yeah, one of them's brand new, the other one's 3 years old, 2 years old.
Okay.
They could
If
be.
it wasn't for
trained.
these CSAP exercise, I'd do it tomorrow, I just can't, I don't know how, there's not enough time in the day.
We've got,
Um,
I mean.
Yeah, I know we have to, that's, I mean, you know, I appreciate y'all doing that. But if we go in there and if that rot is salvageable, again, if we could, I know, I understand the building's doing this and that, but if you could put 4x4s in each one of those corners, reduce the inside space by 10 square feet, and put a brand new wall up and prop the existing ceiling on the existing floor for $10,000, I say, do it. If you have to put a new building in, it could exceed 30 to 50,000 easy. But I think we'll have a clearer picture tomorrow.
Yeah, we won't be in those 30 to
Reframe
50.
the inside center.
Here's what you're gonna get in redoing that. When you pull this stuff off the wall to remount it, you can't splice this electric. Some of that is all wiring. That means you started the transfer system and come in. That's why if we have to build something, our measurements, we'll put it back. We don't wanna get into pulling this electrical wiring. Because some of that's, is one-off. I mean, some of these ground rods are plates. Everything grounds off this fence grounds, but they're grounded out of plates outside it. So when we start pulling out, we're short on wire. Then we've got problems. That's why we've got.
Again, I couldn't guesstimate, but now if Larry, if you think that you got a price in mind, I don't know, without at least going tomorrow and seeing what we're looking at. If we're looking at
Yeah, that's
rebuilding
the
the
thing.
existing unit, that's one. If we're doing a whole big thing, that's gonna be a different one.
I mean,
So,
I'll give you a price, just a rough idea, you know, from, as far as that, you can go down here to the street or the corner and you can buy one of them prefab buildings for $5,000–6,000. I'm sure we could form something up and then insulate it and finish it out inside, you know, as cheap as they do. There's just on payment plans where you're paying double the price.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
The hard part is taking the existing one down and getting it out, like he said, making sure the wiring's all connected, then taking the guts and putting it into something new. It'd be less complicated if we could build what we have in salvage, if we can. I don't know if we can or not. But tomorrow, once we get all the stuff out, and, I guess you can cut the fiberglass on the outside?
yeah, a couple more cuts and we won't have to take it down, hit some down. And that wind coming Saturday, we're finished, but we've gotta get all this stuff out, cause you know, he spent a lot of money buying all this new stuff, and we've gotta get all of that out there. And so we're confined space.
Just let us know.
You have to have a number to send CSEP, or they pretty much?
Yeah, I have to have a plan.
Yeah.
And I have to request funding. The thing about this is I can reallocate funding from existing, budgets, but they'll want a quote, they'll want a plan. If it's getting a brand new building, you know, a $3,500 building down here, I like the idea of the concrete block. I have no idea how much a 20 by 18 or a 12 by 18 concrete block building would cost. It would sit on the existing pad, that's not an issue.
It's a 4-inch pour that it's poured on, and then you gotta figure out how you're gonna insulate that block building.
Yeah.
You know, you have the coolness, but, then you gotta figure out, you know, the cut of it to make these fittings go back, you know, because,
Yeah, block's gonna be hard to cut through.
it will, but Justin, you know, he comes from a family of block layers. I put all the faith in the world in his. My brother-in-law, even Charles, even come up. He's been in the Marines as a builder. He looked at it. He's helped us quite a bit, free of charge, by the way. It didn't cost him. Yeah, I mean, we'll get it fixed.
Yeah, it's in terrible shape, that's no doubt. But that's not what happens going forward, we just don't know.
Yes.
Yeah, the others in good shape.
Yeah.
And, Ricky, he got with JL about these battery backups. He's getting having a quote together where we can quit using these little smaller battery backups. But he's talked with JL, he told me today, about building a system. And we've seen that system work in the state fleeces. They have these batteries built in where you can get 8 hours of work out of a battery.
Versus now it's what?
Yeah.
30 minutes after 2 hours?
Yeah.
Well, it's less than an hour if you have more than one transmitter on, depends on how much you transmit, blah, blah, blah. No more than 2 hours.
Our last storm here, you know, we run on the generator here from about
Well, you have the same issue here.
yeah.
Yeah, we had the same issue here. yeah.
Ricky's looking at that too, because we run on a generator here from like 1:30 in the morning on Memorial Day morning to 9:30 in the morning. And, the way we knew it, Robbie Campbell comes, hey, we're trying to talk to dispatch in Canton. Well, they had lost power on the furnace, so we turned the repeater off. So we got all that going back, but the long-term fix is what Ricky's brought up with these build-on sites, because state police has those, and I asked the guy on Monday, how long does that work? He said 8 to 12 hours. They have the bank built, they have the batteries, then you just go in and every so many years you replace the battery, because you can have them, the dry cell, you can have the jail, just whatever. But, versus buying all these little small ones that are not lasting, he's gonna have that quote together to send you all.
Well, I understand talking to those little things that
Yes,
are good for less than 2 hours, we know that.
yes.
But what troubles me is say, we're in a situation where the generator didn't start,
Yes.
then we're out, it goes out. But at least 8 hours, you got 8 hours to find another generator.
Yeah, and we do have extra generators, you know, we know, and that's where he's talking about, with the identification, that Ricky and Dave tile that in to the alert system. We know the generator functions or doesn't function. We know, to get up there with the generator.
The generators right now, you know, even when CSEP goes away, and we've got a local guy that's agreeing that he'll come in and start servicing them anytime we need them, Preston Nolan Mechanical. Those generators, they're pretty simple, you know, they're a small car engine. I mean, they all sounded fine. Kevin is gonna have them serviced, they'll be fine. It's just the
With
idea.
proper service, they should last a lifetime.
And we're
Yeah,
gonna
they
put a
should.
checkoff board in that.
They're all still under warranty,
So it's warranty work, I mean, we got.
You got 3 sites, so you got 3 generators, then you got this one out here is a Cummins, it operates totally different than Generac. But, when we get those put in place, you know, that is a guarantee that we don't lose anything, that generator's gonna start, even in this link, this loop, this microwave, it'll tell us when that generator starts and the time. You know, those other ones, we went up, I started them manually, and they had some error codes from the storm, but I mean, you know, Kevin filled them up with, coolant, they started, but still, we've gotta have a checkoff list. This. You know, they're propane, you know, they're not gasoline, they're not diesel, they're all by a propane tank. But, with that, now, had a lady call today over on, which I talked to Patrick about it, about a roadside. You all know we're getting a new mapping system, that we're waiting on, that Connie's wrote the check, correct? For, them to start taking over the mapping. She brought Justin a plat last year, Cherry Blossom Circle. That's what he had to go off of, was the plat. He addressed it off of that. She called today, wanting the roadside. I said, well, give me your address. I pulled it up to see if it's a private road. It's a county road. When I pull it up, it drops the pin on a section called Cherry Blossom, but it's highlighted through the state Hideaway Lane. Back before any of us, it was Hideaway Lane. It's what me and Patrick talked about. They made a change. I don't think there's any documentation through the court of anybody ever coming in changing this road name to Cherry Blossom. Well, when this land sold and they sold lots, they call it Cherry Blossom Circle because they stole Patrick's road signs. Here's our, and see if you all are good with this. We're gonna go over, talk to all the residents, see what kind of address they have. Whether they have Cherry Blossom, they have Hideaway Lane. Patrick says we'll have to do, if we wanna change it to Cherry Blossom from the state, we're gonna have a reading, we're gonna have a committee. I talked to this lady today, she said, I wanna do what's least costly to anybody. So, Hideaway Lane, maybe Cherry Blossom, we don't know. I mean, there's no minutes when they come in and change it. It's prior to me and Justin. So, if anybody approaches you all with Cherry Blossom Circle, because I told her that you see the neighbors out, then we need to come talk. We've got to figure out what it's gonna be, Hideaway Lane or Cherry Blossom. The utilities are all under Cherry Blossom. I'm gonna do that.
Which I may add, by the legalities of it, with what we ran into that section on Gritter's Ridge Road, I think it has to be one of the people that owns land adjoining that right-of-way of Hideaway Lane that has to appeal the court for us to even start this process.
That's what I told her.
So, yeah, one of them would have to come to one of our meetings and actually appeal to us to change the name.
But see, right now, Hideaway Lane is a county road, so Patrick's gonna see what the county maintains of Hideaway Lane. But like I told her, he cannot buy her a road sign that says Cherry Blossom if it is a county road, till we determine, get it changed over. And she's fine with that. You know, I told her if anybody calls 911, say, listen, this may be Hideaway Lane, it may be Cherry Blossom. There's a note for the dispatchers, they do know that.
Does any of them have a Hideaway Lane?
We don't know
Patrick?
yet. She lives in Georgetown. She's just brought this property and had a home built. The neighbor next door, she does know, he has Cherry Blossom. So we're gonna go, tomorrow during the little breaks in going to the tower sites, leave a door knocker at these houses and nobody's home, let them call in and try to fix it.
All right.
I'm good with that.
Yep. All right. Anything else?
I think we're good.
All right. Justin?
Don't have anything, that's pretty much on mine.
Well, I didn't give you all your numbers. The numbers at the calls for the May. The sheriff's office took 358 calls. Stanton PD took 255. Clay City PD took 156. Stanton Fire Department had 23. Clay City had 32. Middle Fork had 11. Powell County Search and Rescue had 3. Powell County EMS had 211 for the 31 days of May.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we post it where the public can see it as well, because where we're trying to get these cities to help contributions. That shows, you know, it's broken down and we've kept a track record. What we do. They didn't put us anything in the city of Stanton's budget, so they were gonna review it again, when they start getting their insurance premium tax where it raised. And the months to come, Clay City have paid nothing back.
We may need to go,
We go to every meeting.
Yeah.
We're visual, I mean, they see us, but
Nothing's happening.
well, we start charging them $5 a call.
by the state, we're not, and we're not gonna cut nobody out, but we're not mandated to do any of their dispatching because there's no local agreement, but we're not gonna cut those people off,
Yeah.
because that would punish the.
That'd be hurting the people instead of
I know.
the government.
Should you bill
Yeah.
them?
I don't know, Robert, that's a question.
Is
We bill them for services.
The cities,
Is that all agree? Could I do it? I mean, I'm sure they had to agree.
I'll have to see.
I mean, we've asked.
Operate, I mean, you're gonna have to do something.
We have asked, I mean, I can tell you, Brandon's at every meeting, he knows, I usually get the second row of the seat. And, not happening.
him on. That's it. David?
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and cover the UPS and the generator contract also, then take two things off that.
Okay.
The Cummins generator, it's on a 3-year contract with Cross Point, Cummins East or whatever it is, out of Louisville, their parent company down in Indiana. They have a 3-year agreement and the cost, you got the agreement? Thank you. The cost is $711 for an annual service, so over the 3-year, it's $2,134.68 for each of them. So we have the primary that's up against, it's on the 900-gallon tank, we have a secondary on wheels, that's on a 500-gallon tank. And they'll come down and do service and check all the things, and everything checks out good for the last, since I've been here. So.
Gas told, it's Weaver, is that diesel fuel doing the same thing?
They have a stabilizer they do in it, they do a testing of the fuel every time. You can ask for a testing of the fuel annually, but they, if they start having issues with the checks itself, that's one of the first things they check. And they change the oil annually, and they, check the fluids,
They would do a
Average.
C-tank level too.
yeah. But, I put stabilizers in annually, and, it's, I think it's 1 bottle per 100 gallons, and there's 9 of them, so I put 9 bottles in there.
What is the schedule for running those?
They run weekly, in the morning, or at 9 o'clock in the morning for 30 minutes weekly.
Okay.
And, I go out there, that's the one that's automatic, it comes on. I go out there manually, at least once a month, but I try to go out there weekly for 30 minutes on the portable jug.
Secondary.
But anyways, CTEP's gonna pay for 1 year, they'll pay for this year, they'll pay for the the $711.56 for one of them, but the other 2 years needs to be covered by the fiscal court. So I'd like to request that the fiscal court allow me to go ahead and sign a 3-year contract with the understanding that the fiscal court will be, have the remaining amount.
2 years.
2 years, remaining 2 years. So
Any questions, comments?
I don't think we have any choice.
All right.
Yeah.
Have a motion?
I mean,
Motion.
Motion by JL, second by Chad, all in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye.
All right,
Opposed likewise?
I'm sorry.
It's all right.
The second one is Vertiv, the uninterruptible power supply that we have back here. It's sort of a big brother of what they're talking about doing at the towers. It has a dozen batteries or more, I forget exactly how many batteries. But the batteries, I had the annual check done last month, and they determined that everything is working fine, but the batteries are 5 years old, and they recommend replacing the batteries. So with permission of the court, I'd like to go ahead and replace the batteries. CSEP should pay for those replacement of those batteries, but that's gonna be $9,000. Of course it's not on here.
It's something that we have to have.
Yeah, anyways, it's $9,800 and some dollars, and, we're gonna, I'd like to have permission to go ahead and move forward with it under the understanding that CSEP should pay for it, but I can't guarantee anything with CSEP. We're in the last year of the contract, and they are really wanting documentation. I gave them the documentation that we have. I gave them the documentation that we've kept up our end of the deal by keeping the maintenance done up on it. Everything is working fine now. But I cannot guarantee between now and December, when the CSEP is over, that it won't work. So to keep all this fancy electronic equipment they've purchased operating the way it should, we need to replace those batteries. I'm confident, 98% confident that they're gonna do it, but we need to replace the batteries at a cost of just under $10,000.
If we don't do that, then we'll have to revert back to what we're doing now.
Well, it could very easily break or not work at the most inopportune time.
I understand.
Yeah, so yes.
I make a motion to do that.
Okay, motion by Dale, second by Chad.
Yeah, I'll move forward and I'll let y'all know at the next fiscal court meeting.
All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Anybody
Is there any-
opposed, likewise?
Is there anything else CSEP needs replaced when they go out?
Well, it's just it, there's a lot of things, we're trying to get some tires on some trailers and different types of things, we're trying to get some, maintenance done with, regards to the, message boards. I'm gonna get some batteries for one of the message boards. And if it's down, then, you know, might be a controller issue, they should pay for that. I've got one of my light towers has a light fixture that's broke, and I want to replace all 4 of them with digital, but then again, they'll replace the one, but those are getting harder to find, the condensate bulbs, the big bulbs, they're getting harder to find, so if they allow me to change them all 4, I get an inverter for it, or a converter for it, to bring it down to the 5 or 14 volts, whatever the digital stuff is, versus the big bulbs, 115, 220.
What about the lights outside?
The lights outside are 3 years old, and the batteries should be last for 5 years. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, it looks dark when we go out, I mean, where?
They, what do you mean? Yeah,
Last
they-
building, it was dark and they didn't lock it.
Okay, now during the wintertime, they don't, because there's not enough sunshine on them in the wintertime, they do not work during the wintertime. But right now, there should be no reason, if you find one of them not on, they're on when I come in at 5 o'clock in the morning. Not that I come in 5 o'clock every morning, but a couple days a week.
It's his age.
I mean, but no, he's probably, it's been months since but they do short cycle in, December,
I think we made a comment about that walking out there.
from December.
We needed that,
Yeah.
last meeting, yeah.
Well, next time it happens, call me right then, because then we may have a problem with one of the lights, but if they're all off, that's because they just get.
I think they were on, they just weren't very bright.
Well,
I don't remember.
Okay.
It's been the story of my life.
Yeah,
We'll check tonight.
the lights around the building, yeah, the lights around the building, it's more than enough. The lights around the building, all those have been replaced, we have got everything replaced as far as around the building goes, the door lights, entry lights, stuff like that, so that's all been replaced. But yeah, we
get the parking lot resealed too?
yes, we're trying to process, Patrick gave me a name of a local vendor, and he's supposed to be getting me a quote, and I'll bring it to, well, if you want, the court wants to go ahead and give you permission not to exceed $5,000, that's something the CSEP should pay for, again, should pay for, but I wanna do it.
And striping?
Huh? And striping. It'd be less than $5,000, so that's something that we need to go ahead and move forward to, if you wanna go ahead and approve that.
I say, but.
Alright.
Okay, motion made by Chad, second by JL to go ahead and approve the, sealing and striping of the parking lot. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Anybody opposed likewise? Motion carries.
Alright, the annual exercises tomorrow, we're gonna have the Red Star and SAR team, search and rescue and medical teams, gonna go over to Fayette County to assist them with a building collapse and a wide area search. We're gonna be operating the ELC from about 8 o'clock in the morning until 1 or, whenever they end the exercise. The index should be around 1:30, maybe 2 o'clock at the latest. And anybody's welcome to come on by, stop by the ELC if you just want to come back and talk to us. We're just going to be communicating with the field units. Once they secure from the issue or the post, they're going to have other issues going on. It's kind of a mutual aid year. It's the last CSEP exercise. They're going to do a different type of exercise, but it's still going to be, everybody comes to the ELC, operate the ELC, communicate. And
I think Kevin will buy us lunch. I mean.
And the last but not least, I gave everybody a PowerPoint presentation that shows the emergency management post CSEP. It breaks down a 20-year cycle, and it's basically, it's based on the previous 20-year cycle with the LCCE, which is a long-term planning tool that we use to plan things throughout the CSEP, footprint throughout the CSEP funding. That funding is going away. This is what FEMA, through a contractor, has projected the numbers that we would have to look at to maintain the EOC over a 20-year period. Maybe next month, I'll take more time and go over it, but I just wanted to get it out to you so you can look at it and see that it's roughly 10, 12 million over a 20-year period. So, sounds like a lot, but you gotta eat the elephant one bite at a time. Any questions? I would love to appreciate Justin and Larry and the road crew and the jail, everybody that's been associated with getting some of these things, these issues fixed. And the fiscal court, including the Honorable Eddie Barnes, that we are moving forward and we're trying to get as much as we can get out, not out of CSEP, but to get things as buttoned up while CSEP is still here. Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin. Next is, let's go with Chelsea.
Well, I'm not department head, but I'll give you a little update.
Department head's in Myrtle Beach right now, so.
Yeah. Well, we have a lot of dogs, but they're moving out every week. And we have everything that we need right now. I feel like there's a plan about our gates, finally, to be hung up. Other than that, I do have a little problem. So we have a dog that got loose, and like we had it at the shelter, and the inmates let it loose, not the girls. And it went down the road here and bit a little girl's pool. Well, they come up here wanting us to pay for it. So what do you want me to do with that?
Hit the pool?
Bit the pool and busted it, yeah. I have a picture of it. It's just a little blow up pool. It bit the pool.
How much is it?
$50.
Yeah, we just talking about spending 12
I
million. What else we can buy?
I mean, ladies are down there.
Yeah, buy the kiddie pool.
Okay, all right.
That's what.
Y'all got any questions?
When you're out in a call, do you do incident reports and keep them?
I do. Like,
I think they're having a lot of trouble on down 15 or 10 men.
oh yeah, we're on.
Yeah,
Yep.
we've been there 4 or 5 times in the past 2-3 weeks or
Well,
so.
since I've been working, I've been there 4 or 5 times.
Yeah.
So.
Last deal was Sunday, one of the neighbors got bit on the legs several times.
That one's got out of the kennel house?
Yeah, dog was arrested and he's
Yep,
in
he's in
the
jail.
Humane Society right now. And pending criminal charges on the owner for the dog.
She has a unit number, any case she gets called up for, she's A189, she's attached, so she does really well for us.
But they have been busy, and a lot of times we forget to say we appreciate them and stuff, you know, because we never seen them, they're always out.
Yeah, I didn't like it that day when everybody was up there, like bulldozing and stuff. Everybody was running around. What's going on?
Yeah, she was standing at the door looking out for them.
Yeah.
You have any
But-
tags with you?
No.
You come by the courthouse tomorrow, you can bring one.
Sure.
right?
Yeah, you bring two. We might be able to sell those. But thank you, and thank Justin for what y'all do, because, you know, you all, like everybody else, you're out day and night. You know, you see the truck at 11, 12 o'clock at night. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I have a motion for that pool since we're
I make a
right
motion.
now?
Yeah, I was going,
Yeah.
yeah, motion, made by Chad, second by J.O., all in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Anybody opposed likewise? Okay, motion carries. Let's go to Patrick.
All right, with the road department, we're still mowing. We have quite a bit on the agenda. We've been staying pretty busy. We've been helping Tim for a little bit, trying to get him caught up on the composting facility. We've had, several calls about ditches and culverts, which myself and the judge actually responded to a emergency call today as far as a roadway emergency. We had a culvert that's failed, so we're going to do an emergency replacement on it tomorrow morning on Silver Maple Lane, beginning at 7:30 a.m. So I don't anticipate that we'll have that roadway shut down long. Luckily, it only affects one residence, so very minimal impact to the public. So other than that, as far as personnel, we had 2 new hires that have come out of probation, one of which has turned in their 2-week notice. Their last day will be Thursday. The other one is still with us, and I would like to recommend to send him to get his CDLs. He's wanting his Class A. He showed interest. He's learning new equipment, doing very well. And that's not to say, that everyone up there isn't doing well. So I have been trying to get some quotes on, because now that things have changed at the state level to get the CDL license, I have been in contact with Lake Cumberland CDL School, which that's who we went through the last time for myself and Stephen. That cost has now went up to $5,000, and I'm currently waiting to hear back from Red River Ranch because they have their own trainer. So hopefully they touch base with me hopefully tomorrow and I'll know something. It was unfortunate I didn't have that amount, more finite amount tonight, but that's where I'm at with that, so.
Anything else?
Yes, we actually have had a few applicants. Myself and the judge have actually communicated with one of them thus far. So, with everything, this is our busy time of year, so I would like to hire at least 1, possibly 2 full-time employees. One of which was a former employee of the road department. He left on good terms. But I don't think we will be able to secure him for employment with us at the current rate of pay that was mandated by the court. So.
One of the things that Patrick and I have talked about is his qualifications and stuff. He does have a Class A CDL, so on that, usually we go ahead and bump everybody up $1 an hour for that once they complete their CDL driving. He's looking at, he's wanting $15 an hour. If we go up to the CDL, that'd take him up to $14 an hour. And, like I explained to Patrick, July 1st, we're gonna be getting a cost of living raise, so that's gonna bump him up some more. And, 6 months later, he's gonna get 50 cents on the hour, so.
Yeah.
But, it's totally up to y'all if you wanna, give him more money, that's it's up to y'all, but, is Ben Bishop?
Yes.
Yeah. In which, he has an impressive, application resume, so.
He won't be making more than a higher worker, starting out.
Well, on a couple of them, yes, because of their qualifications versus his qualifications.
They don't have a CDL.
Yeah.
I'm new to that.
Yeah. Oh, once, and like, one that's want to go to CDL school, once he completes his CDL training, he'll be bumped up also.
Yeah.
That's what you want, Patrick, go for it.
Yeah, I make.
14, if you want.
So what you said?
Well, that's what I'm recommending, but he's saying that he might not come for less than 15, but, if he wants a job, he can.
Offer 14, like I said.
Well, it's gonna be 14, and then after,
Yeah,
three more weeks, it's
explain it to
gonna
him.
be another raise, and then once your 6 months is up,
I mean, he was a
And
former
that-
employee, but still.
and that's one of the things that he had told me. He said, well, when we're left, I was making $15.50 an hour, and I said, well,
He left, so.
he left, so it has to go back down to the bottom of the chain link, so, we.
I mean, I feel it's fair.
I think.
Yeah,
it is.
I think
see
it's
nothing
fair.
wrong with that.
I don't think that we were starting back out to what he was making, before he left. And that was a 2.5 year
That wouldn't be fair to nobody else.
Yeah,
No.
yeah.
Yeah, I ditched with him. He can stay with me ditching. And
He was a good employee, wasn't he?
I worked with him every day out there.
Yeah, seems like he's a good guy.
He's good. He can drive a truck and he stays with me when I'm working.
Yeah, one of the things we can't, we really can't make a difference on him and anybody else, because it kind of gets in trouble.
And an advantage to him, he already knows the roads, he knows.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Very familiar with the salt route, snow route.
That's coming up.
Yeah. And one of the things that we have talked about, before, you know, that our raises, you know, we're given a certain amount of percentages, and then probably within half a year, we'll look to see what we can afford, what we can't afford, the possibility of an extra percent or something like that, so.
Yeah, we want all our employees.
Yeah, you know, we wanna do the best we can, you know, that's the thing.
We want to keep
That, between solid waste and dispatch and the road department, you know, and the jail, you know, it's pitiful what they make, and, you know, we need to do better. We have to do better, but the thing about it is, you know.
We're working on it.
Yeah, we're working, slowly but surely, and that's what I tell people whenever I came in, and it's not me, okay, I want to make sure everybody understands, it's not me, it's the fiscal court. That, whenever we came in, you know, people were making $10 an hour, and now that they're up to $12 and $13 an hour, and $12, $13 an hour is really no money, you know, I'll say that right now, it's no money, you know.
I mean, you get perks of being home, but still.
Yeah, but, you know, we wanna do more, and we're going to do more, just as soon as we can, so. But just offer that, if that's pleases the fiscal court, offering, this is what.
I think that's the fairest way to do it.
Yeah, I think so too.
And explain to him that, you know, in the future, you know, he'll go up everybody else.
Yeah.
I wouldn't feel right making an exception and, starting off at where, what I feel like is you're starting back to where your current employees can have an opportunity to be there if they chose to.
Yes, yes,
So, it seems fair to me.
yeah, I think so too.
And I know Ben, he's a good guy, he really is. I'd be proud to have him.
You have anybody else?
There was another applicant, I'll have to take another look at his, resume and application. I believe his name was Chase Bailey.
But he's not CDL. Very, very limited, experience on machinery stuff, excuse me.
From what I recall, so. And another thing, while I've got the floor, when myself and Stephen got our CDLs at the same time, we never gave him the dollar raise that I'm aware of. So with the court's pleasure, could we go ahead and get the authority to do so?
I think that's what we promised.
Yeah, that's very reasonable, as far as I'm concerned. Court have any problems on it?
No, that was the deal.
Motion to accept, giving him $1 hour raise, due to his completion of the CDL class. Motion by Mike, second by Chad, all in favor, signify by saying aye. Anybody opposed likewise? All right. You get it next year.
Tim will get it right next year too.
Yeah. All right.
Do you all wanna make a motion for the guy to do the CDL class or not?
On the, yeah, we can do that.
Just to go with whichever either vendor.
Yeah, and that's, Patrick and I talked about it earlier, is on the, CDL, you know, preferably it'd be local, like to be local, if we can, but, you know.
Mine Sayers, we paid him $6,000 by the smokehouse, so.
Yeah.
That is what the contract.
Yeah, and that's with the contract on the mini.
Hey, Judge. Nathan said Brock was teaching it. He's supposed to get us a price what Brock would charge us to train.
The only problem with that though is if we do training in-house, we don't have a truck to properly take the test in, because if we use the road tractor from the transfer station, they would have an automatic restriction. They wouldn't be able to drive our single axles or the flatbed dump or.
Well, and also, you know, I prefer somebody else to teach it that way, that, you know, they get the full class versus sometimes in-house, you know, it's kind of cut corners and stuff like that, so, you know, and CDLs are very important.
I think the company that, runs your CDL license in the road.
Yeah. So Tim, was you wanting to take the CDL class also?
Yes, sir. We're growing so much down there, it'd just be handy for me to have mine. That's one thing I just won't do in-house, cause I can't get away from down there that long. Unless Steven wants to take my spot, he's back there in Malden, so.
We wouldn't miss him.
Which honestly, automatic restriction might not hurt you.
That wouldn't be a bad thing there.
Yeah.
I talked to some at Red River about this. Last week we talked about it a little bit, and they like the idea of 2 or 3 days a week. So they supposed to get back with me. I haven't heard nothing from them. You know, if I could get a class where I can do 2 days a week, that keeps everything at the transfer station going. But this one class is 4 days a week, so if I had to, I can make it, we'll make ends meet.
We'll get into this in a second, but,
Well, you're the supervisor of that. If it works for you, I don't have a problem with it. We're just looking at the other employees.
So we're gonna go ahead and make a motion on, is it, BJ? Okay.
Yes.
On the Billy Hood, and, Tim taking the CDL class. Motion made by Jill, second by Chad, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Anybody opposed likewise? Okay, motion carries.
Now, did you say that Billy's out of, his probationary?
Yes.
Does he get
Yeah,
anything?
he gets
Anything he got?
50 cent raise.
Okay.
Yeah, we've already done the proper paperwork to do so.
Since you're here, we'll go ahead and go down to the, motion to approve the lowboy for the road department. And, you wanna explain that?
Yes, so years ago, we did have a road tractor and a lowboy at the road department. For some unknown reason, it was sold at a county auction. They purchased a panel hitch trailer that was, from what I've heard from people who's been here longer than myself, that it was in disrepair when they purchased it from the state highway department. It was surplus equipment, meaning either its useful life was over to begin with, or it was in excess of 10 years age at the time it was purchased, if I'm not mistaken. That being said, it became a liability for us to put on the roadway. We had to climb under it, beat the brakes loose every time we hooked it up to a truck. It had a hydraulic system to raise and lower the deck. We never had a panel hitch truck that had a wet line kit. So the hydraulic jacks had the welds had broken loose on them. So it would just free fall whenever it tilted as you were loading equipment. So we surplused that piece of equipment during our last county auction 2 years ago, and we have not replaced it yet with any sort of trailer to be able to move our dozer. So I guess it was last Friday,
Yeah, it's been about 2 weeks ago.
about 2 weeks ago, we ran into an issue where we needed our dozer moved. We had no way to do so with the equipment we had, so we had to rely on a contractor to haul it for us.
Yeah.
So, I guess I'm here to ask, where we've got a road tractor now, could we possibly look into purchasing a lowboy trailer large enough to haul our road grader, one, to save tires, two, to make it safer on the public, instead of it going 30 mile an hour down the roadway, as a slow moving vehicle.
That's roughly around
$25,000.
Yep, we actually found a combination, a truck, tractor, and trailer that we think will fulfill our needs for $25,000.
Let me ask you a question.
Yes, sir.
You get the local one, can you do the CDLs and then?
Yes, as long as we purchase a truck, tractor that has a manual transmission.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
Keep looking at it.
Yes,
So then we can go locally with the CDL train.
yes.
Y'all are not looking at purchasing a truck, right? Y'all can use my truck.
No, we're talking about purchasing a truck too.
Oh, y'all gonna get a truck too?
Yes.
Standard shift.
Yeah, so we could do CDL testing.
And the thing about it is, number one, we need it because it's embarrassing where you have a piece of equipment you can't move because you don't have the resources to do it. If there's an emergency, that we need that dozer, who's to say that Rock Trucking or Red River Ranch or somebody's gonna be here to actually help us? And, as far as the grader, grader and the tractors, right now that they have to drive their tractors to areas, they have to leave them set and then go back to them and finish mowing or doing whatever. The grader, what's a set of tires cost on the grader?
Approximately $4,000 by the time we have it mounted.
And every time you put it on the roadway, it eats it
The
up.
front tires are about gone now, and they ain't, they're about gone.
And they're less than 2 years old.
Yeah.
So, me personally, I think if we, purchase that, a truck, trailer combo, it's gonna pay for itself. And we can utilize the dozer a lot more than we have in it.
It takes about 25 minutes roughly to drive from the shop on the grader to the Jones Service Road. It had a foot valve stopped up on it.
Yeah, that was it.
Flushed the fluids in it, it's good.
Yeah, I do. Did it, Tim?
Don't let him on that. Please don't let him drive the truck.
Around here, dog, can't
Hey, I got to push the dirt too.
Lord, Chelsea, that's why she was scared.
I didn't get to see him in it.
Oh.
I missed that.
But anyway, I think we could justify the purchase because of all the savings that we'll have, where you look at the time and equipment.
Is this
tires
good, safe
and stuff.
equipment? We want to-
Yeah.
We would have to go in and inspect it. There'd probably be a few of us from the road department go down, do a pre-trip on it, test drive it, things of that nature, so.
Make sure.
As long as you have your well, you could operate it off-road.
Yeah, there you go. Well, I'm gonna operate it, I just watch y'all.
Okay.
Hell, we might just send him to school, he does everything else.
Well, yeah.
Give him another hat to wear.
Yep. All right, so motion to, buy the lowboy and the truck trailer combo, pending
their inspection.
Yeah, pending their inspection.
Just make sure it'll pass the test.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Chad.
I second, and 80 has to have a CDLs.
Hey, I'll go get it. I don't mind. Second by JL, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Anybody opposed?
You need to
Likewise?
set a cap on that or anything?
Well, $25,000, yeah. And which, if that don't work out, then,
We'll come back and look at it.
yeah, we'll look at it. Or if you could approve, $25,000 cap, you know, if you find another trailer or something like that that's a lot cheaper or something.
I don't think you're gonna get any lower.
I don't know what,
Not a decent trailer cost you 15,000.
yeah. All right. Anything else, Payne?
We still have several things for the road department, honestly. With a motion to approve our bridge allotment, basically what that is, excuse me, the state will fund 80% of $100,000 for what we call the bridge allotment. It's a program that we utilize to help with roadways that have culvert issues and drainage issues. So basically what we're looking at is I've contacted Contact based out of Winchester, and they have engineered 2 aluminum boxes for us for 2 roadways that need some desperate care as far as drainage work. One of which is Sand Lick Road, which it was for a total of $30,330.78. And the other roadway in question was Cottle Road, and that structure, the cost of manufacture and delivery would be $36,841.92. So basically what would happen is if we can get approved tonight, for these structures, we can then fill out an agreement, submit it to the state. They'll send an inspector out, they'll look at the engineered drawings, they'll say whether it'll work or not. If we get the $100,000 from the state, we will then be able to bid out the installation of these structures. as well as hire a crew that's recommended by the manufacturer to assemble the product, because we don't have, for one, the manpower to assemble them ourselves right now, nor do we have the equipment large enough to handle these structures, because they have to be fully assembled before they're placed in the ground. So that being said, our 20% in-kind contribution would be labor for things such, and equipment used for things such as small excavation work, as far as setting the dead man anchors for the structure, for the wing walls. Some assistance with getting like 811s or utility locates during the planning process, backfill, and material to do the backfill with.
Yeah, that's why I didn't understand what you put, because it was on there, but that would be part of the match.
So basically, we're not gonna be out any money, it's just labor.
We would be out money for some materials.
Yeah, but
Right.
most of the 20% would be in kind, most of the 20%.
Yes.
I'll make a motion, give him permission to proceed with it.
All right, motion made by JL, second by Chad. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed likewise? All right, motion carries. Anything else, Patrick?
Yes, we do have the flex list. Motion for the flex road. Yes, so we've compiled this list of roadways that should suffice for our flex fund. I'll go ahead and explain to you kind of what that is. So it's also a 80-20 matching grant from the state for pavement. We can only use that to resurface. We cannot pave gravel roads as initial treatment with these funds, nor can we do that with discretionary FD 39 funds. So these roadways have been measured, estimates sent into the state. I actually witnessed the state inspector inspecting these roadways already, so hopefully we can get approval at the state level very, very soon. The roadways we're looking at in question are Napier Cemetery Road in District 4, Talby Lane in District 4, Sleepy Hollow Road in District 5, Evergreen Road in District 5, Pineview Heights District 5, Wood Point Drive District 5, Little Brush Creek in District 2, Wells Lane, I believe that's District 2 as well,
Yes.
and a patch on Brush Creek Road where we had previously done some emergency work. We drove steel, and now that pavement where we had destabilized that with excavation is starting to break up. So hopefully, like I said, hopefully we hear something very soon from that. We just need a motion to be able to execute the agreement and go ahead and hopefully get a paving crew in here.
Motion made by Dale, second by Locker. All in favor? All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Anybody opposed likewise?
When we found out about discretionary.
Yeah, on discretionary money, we replaced Old Winchester Road with another road.
Yeah, I don't remember. I think it was something in District 4. No, I'm kidding. Old Winchester Road number 2 is on that discretionary. At this point in time, it's a wish list.
Yeah.
Because we had a request at the state level for a list of roadways we would like to put on our list.
Yeah.
That way they can use it in their fiscal budget planning. So, or not fiscal budget, but their budget planning. Hopefully within the next month is what I'm hoping
July,
for.
I think.
I think those things are ongoing right now.
Yeah.
Also, what else did you find out about 22-23 paving money?
Oh, yes, I'm glad you said that. I've talked a lot more than I normally do. I actually found out today, so we had an open agreement, which was the roads that Walker Company had paved for us, partially last year, partially the year before. So in talking with Craig Linden, our consultant who assists with a lot of this, we found out that we actually have $94,394.31 remaining that is unused in that agreement. So I've communicated with Craig, the judge. we've decided to keep that agreement open. We're gonna review these roadways that were in that agreement. We can't add any new roads to the list, but we can use this money to maybe pave farther on one of the roads on that list. So, I think most of the ones in this particular list were done in full. I think we did patches on Cove Mountain, Echo Hollow, and Beach Fork Road. So we're gonna review and do some measuring, get some estimates together on potentially doing some more paving on those particular roadways.
Good, good. Also, you told me a little bit about Derrickson Lane.
Yes. So Derrickson Lane, we've had several calls about it. So what happened there, we had actually installed one of the aluminum prefab structures that I just mentioned from the bridge allotment there a couple of years ago. So since it's been paved, it's settled a little bit, the pavement's buckled, so I am waiting on a quote from Hinkle Company. We actually measured it today, so hopefully in the next few days I'll have a quote on it, and if they're passing through or, doing work close by, they said they would gladly stop in and, with approval, take care of that issue.
Where was that at?
Derrickson Lane.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's all I've got.
I vote for that. Derrickson Lane.
Thank you. Yeah. There you go. Thank you, Patrick. And like always, guys, y'all keep up the good work. Y'all doing a good job. Timothy?
We had a surprising inspection today from the state. Everything passed with flying colors. They checked everything, transfer station plus up at the composting yard. And he was really impressed with the composting yard, our setup. So, that's good news. Bad news is, my roll off, we have fought it for the last 2 weeks on the tarp system. Me and Ryland has fixed it 4 or 5 times, put a new roller on it, still had problems. And I had Eddie on one phone and Larry Reynolds on the other phone from Municipal Equipment. They're now wanting me to bring it to Louisville. And they think they can fix it all in one day down there. Like I told Patrick, I asked him if he can drive. I don't trust that one day stuff. And I don't want to get down to Louisville like I was in Winchester waiting on a ride. Well, this is all still under warranty, or should be. We're hoping.
Yeah, we're looking at 1 or 2.
What's that?
The covers.
Just one.
Just one.
I'd say me and Ryland done everything we could do to it. It'd work for 2 or 3 days, then it'd go right back out. So I think it's a problem with the roller system itself. And when you got 4 or 5 open tops, you need that roller system. So that brings me to, we've got stuff down there that's loaded. I've got stuff from free dump day still down there. But it's aggravation. John tried it with the tarp and us strapping it down. That don't work. He ended up losing our old tarp that we had. It's still over at landfill. They ain't coming back. I called Stanley Bob and I did call Red River Ranch to get prices on hauling our open tops for us or a closed top while our truck is down. Stanley Bob was $285 a load and Red River was $345. I haven't got a price back from Grumpy yet. Red River used to haul ours for years before we started doing the lease program, and that was $305. But back in, we was just hauling 2 or 3 a week. Now we're hauling 7 or 8 a week.
Are we still going to go to take some of Carter County, Grayson? Or?
Yeah, that'll be next week, boy.
We still got that box truck you bought.
Yeah.
Still use it.
Yeah. I've got about $1,900 to spend before end of the month with our tire grant. And Eddie's been nice enough, he's gonna sit in the truck and drive to Carter County for me. But if it's all right with y'all, I would like to use Stanley Ball or Red River until we get our tarp system fixed.
sit there again.
No. I mean, it's causing, where we're renting dumpsters, I've got 5 dumpsters sitting out, Eddie's one of them,
Yeah.
that I can't do nothing with, and I don't have time to run to the landfill to haul a ton over
Mine's full and I want it empty now.
Okay.
there. And I've got 4 people
Call
rent
me,
calling today.
Yeah. I think it's a good idea, and, you know, if you've got quotes off of Red River Ranch and Blaze Trucking, Rock Trucking, you know, I think we need to go lowest bidder, you know, it's gonna save us, what, $80 a load?
Something like that, well,
Or
$30,
$80
$60 for load.
Yeah.
And just on the dozer issue that we had with hauling it, Blaze told me, and I know Blaze, Stanley bought them, he told me go get the truck, and that's what we done. We hauled it ourselves, used his truck. I asked him today, I said, you ever give me a bill? He said, no, I told y'all, if y'all haul it, I don't owe you, y'all don't owe me nothing. I said, no, we owe you something.
Yeah, they were gracious enough to allow us to use their truck and trailer, you know, we should at least, you know, put fuel back in the truck or something, you know.
So, he said he won't write his bill up, but that's up to y'all, what y'all wanna do about that.
I appreciate it.
So can I get a
Motion
motion?
to go with the
Motion.
lowest bidder.
Yeah.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, motion to go to lowest bidder on the hauling, motion made by JL, second by Mike.
Whoever, I'm like,
We ain't got no
quorum no more, they dropped all that stuff, so.
Huh?
They dropped all that landfill stuff, so we ain't got no quorum
Yeah.
Yeah, they're legit, so.
Yeah. All right, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Anybody opposed likewise? All right, motion carries.
Hey, Chad, since you brought that up, I never was allowed to go to stuff recycling. We put an end to all stuff recycling over at landfill stuff.
I thought it was, no, it was Wildcat, wasn't it?
Wildcat,
Yeah.
recycle, yes. I go to stuff. Does anybody have any problems with him just taking it to Wildcat, if he'll give me the same price? If he's want, maybe he'll come a little bit cheaper on my haul bill.
If you get it cheaper.
Yeah, I have no problem with that. And the closer we can keep it locally, you know, the better off we are.
And
Saving us some money.
he's pretty much local anyway,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
The other thing I had a driver come to me today, cause I've got 4 CDL drivers, 2's out sick, the other one's out, is busy with his personal business, and they all work part-time for us. That he's our main driver, but he's been busy and can't get to us. So we've had to pull the 4th driver in to help haul the recycling and stuff, or the roll-off. Well, he's wanting a raise. He's wanting to get up CDL prices on his money. I have no problem with it, but it needs to go across the board, not just one driver. If y'all approve it.
And that's all the CDL drivers?
Yes.
I don't have a problem with it, you know, because,
What
you
are we
know,
paying?
we're compensated.
This guy's making 12, the other CDL drivers are making 12.33. They was here for our last yearly raise.
I think they should be the same as the road.
That's what I think. He likes CDLs. Cause we can use them.
Well, you know what me for,
We're trying to give you a raise, then you're gonna get the CDLs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it should be straight across the board.
Because they intertwine.
Is that?
Tom, is that possible on our budget?
What?
Good. On our budget, does that affect our budget in any way?
I don't,
Yeah.
why
Go
was they,
effective after July 1st?
why did they start doing that so long to have CDLs? Was it cause they're part-time or? That's what it was. Okay.
See, part-time down there is just $12 an hour. Heck, it was just $8 an hour until a couple years ago.
Yeah, I think it should be equal across the board.
Or part-time too?
Well, and if you're looking at it, if you're looking at, actually, in my opinion, part-time should be making more due to the fact that there are no benefits.
Yeah, they don't
You know, no retirement.
Part-time, what do you do then?
If they went full-time?
Back from
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah, because that's when the benefits and stuff would take place. In which, you know, can you find anybody to work temporary until these guys get back off of sick leave and?
I don't know, I haven't had time to check into it.
Because because you're basically doing it all by yourself. You know, Kevin and Target's been helping you a lot. And, a couple of them's been really sick, and one of them's gonna be long-term on getting back, I feel.
Is Holland part-time?
Yeah,
I have no full-time employees.
yeah. But, I think if we can find a couple of people that, that can work until they get back, I think it'd be good if we can find them.
Okay.
That way take a little bit of stress off on you and like today, we had to have Target down there for 4 hours, and then Kevin went down there for 4 hours, and neither one of them works for sanitation, or the landfill. And, appreciate them helping out too. And one thing, it's a team effort, it's working, so, but we appreciate that. See if you can find somebody.
Okay.
And, motion, did we already do
I'll make a motion that we bring the CDL drivers up to.
Same road department? Okay, $14 an hour.
Any class or, just B class?
At least B class.
Yeah.
Well, all my drivers are A class.
Yeah, I think we can stay with A class, except we don't worry about it.
Yeah. Okay, all in favor, motion made by JL, second by,
I'll say.
Chad, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed likewise? Motion carries.
Now, if you get somebody full-time, we'll have to.
Full-time, then we'll have to
Or somebody
revisit
else
that.
full-time,
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we can take them back in.
Yeah. Yeah, part-time versus full-time.
I mean, if they're already there and you wanna go full-time, it'd be kind
Well, that's the same thing, if they're part-time, of course, like I said, you're not paying benefits and retirement and all that, if they go full-time, based on what the starting salary is for full-time. In which of it, Tim, we don't know because nobody's full-time. All right, I'm confused. All right, anything else, Tim?
Yeah, I still got some more bad news. I've got a truck sitting up there. It's one of Chris Cheney. They got Chris, so what's it, 17 model? 18 model?
Yep.
Transmission's out of it. So, we was looking at the old marine purple one going down first. This one went out.
Good.
Caught me down Winchester, wouldn't come out 6th gear.
Ever got a price going on fixing it?
No, somebody didn't make me down Winchester, and I ain't had time
Kevin, I
since.
told you made him down Winchester. I'm sorry, Tim.
I apologize.
Kevin and I got talking and forgot all about you.
Anybody's free next 2 days and wants to take a ride and take it down there for me, I sure appreciate it. Randy, I called Cobra and talked to them down there. I think that's the best solution, is take it on down to Cobra.
Once we give you a price,
Yeah, they supposed to give us a price on what it take to fix it.
what kind of warranty you get, a year or 12,000 miles?
I think it's a year, but I'm not 100% sure. They're the ones that fixed the purple truck, and it's
Needs
lasted.
a transmission too,
Huh?
It needs a transmission too,
Yeah, but we'll run it till it runs out.
Yeah, that's the reason why we bought the new one.
You wouldn't jump it for
No, we'll discuss that when we get that
Put money
far.
back in it.
Just holler at me one day, and we can, I get somebody to go with me, and we'll take it in. It's no big deal. Just remind me, the day it's supposed to go.
The composting lot's coming out. I figured up, we're still about, what'd I tell you, 500, 600 ton of rock?
About 550 is what you're saying.
Yeah, so about 26 more loads of rock, and that'll finish that grand up for the year.
Just 26 though.
Yeah. Hey, the bright side of it, we're closer than what we was.
There you go.
Yeah, I'll quite a bit Friday, didn't I?
The actual plot, the actual bin is ready to go for animals. So,
Good.
hopefully, we get some time next few weeks, we can get her. Oh, and that reminds me, on our chipper, we opened a bid up on our chipper and, it was 51,000 whatever dollars. Well, they couldn't get that particular chipper for another 6 months. So they had one on the yard that was $53,000, about $2,000 some dollars difference. This is all grant money. So I talked to Eddie and Connie, and I think he talked to Robert to make sure we could do it. We went ahead and went with the more expensive one that they can bring to us right then. But the grant covers.
$2,400.76 more than what we've already paid them.
So we just, they already had it in stock, we didn't have to wait.
Yeah, 6
If
months.
we waited, it'd been 6 months.
Spent $50,000, I don't know if we done it.
Is it for my animals that I bring there? Is that what you're talking
Yeah,
about?
it's gonna be one. So I guess we need a motion, Connie, to be able to finish paying the rest of the expense.
Motion by Chad, second by Dale, all in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Anybody opposed likewise? Motion carries.
Yeah, I think most.
Anything else, Tim? All right, we'll go ahead to district updates, and we'll start with Chad.
I had a few complaints about Russian Road, but the guys took care of that. Nothing huge, but other than that, sirens working, so we're good.
Thank you for helping us the other day, too. During the test.
Need that.
All right. Now, Dale?
He's mentioned there, one of my complaints to be fixed when they pay, so, sirens are working, we made everybody happy up that way. To one of the additional tests is when we done that, I didn't realize it, but it went way up North Fork, so that's a good.
There's a spray problem, I thought.
Yeah, so that's a good thing. I think Ricky talked to you about this, some other spots around.
I've got 3 other spots that,
We discussed with you at the furnace.
yeah, well, he's got a spot up there, I got with Robert.
Okay.
Robert said we'll do a agreement with the landowners, and
Okay.
so we can put them on their properties.
And then, we need to, from my standpoint, is try to get all that stuff back before somebody steals it over there.
I'll be back on track next week, hopefully.
And actually locations are good, one up on Furnace,
Yeah.
one up on Harvest Creek, and then one down at West Bend.
Yeah.
South Fork.
And South Fork, yeah, so it's 4.
So it's 4.
Yeah.
Yes.
Gas plant, West Bend?
Right down below Robbie Richardson's on the left, right on the side of the road.
From him to church?
Yeah, where did he tell us? That vacant lot right on the edge, we can just pull right up to it.
Yeah.
Does that make you good?
Anything else, Dale?
That's all I got.
Mike?
Do we ever decide if it's Honor Drive was city or county?
Which roadway?
Honor Drive,
Over beside Pine Creek.
and with the high school?
I'm not familiar with that roadway whatsoever.
It's the one that runs parallel to Pine Creek Drive. There's part back there, it runs where Trish Burton lives, that's county. And, I don't know if part of the city or what it is. Chris, do you have any idea?
I don't know off the top of my head, but I can look.
Okay.
Check on it tomorrow.
That's it.
All right. Nothing else? All right, now I'm gonna get on my soapbox for a second. If you don't care, please put this in the newspaper. That, evidently, people are upset because that we bought a vehicle last year, a $45,000 vehicle. It was not a $60,000 nor a $90,000 vehicle. And it was paid through ARPA funds, okay, the American Rescue Plan Act funds. And the lights that went in it was donated to us. If they did not cost $20,000. The people that put them in, they charged us $1,500 to put them in, all right? And I do not use it for my personal use, okay? If I'm out in that, I'm in it for an official capacity. Sunday, what was I driving, Chelsea, wherever I came down in? My Tahoe, silver Tahoe?
Oh, yeah.
Silver Tahoe.
Yeah. Gotcha. Sorry.
Silver Tahoe, so that's the things that I wanna make sure that everybody understands. It was approved by the fiscal court
not by me, and I'm tired of listening to these Facebook people. If anybody has anything to say, if they have a question, feel free to come to the fiscal court, feel free to come to the county judge's office, or call me, all right? It's, enough is enough, okay? The last dignitary I had that Tahoe, and we've had everybody from the governor up to Congressman Barr. You was with me wherever Congressman Barr was in it, okay? I'll be honest with you, yeah, I could be driving a 2008 Nitro or whatever, but whenever people gets in that vehicle, it represents Powell County. It represents us, and if people wants the fiscal court to look like a bunch of hillbillies and drive around and do whatever, that's fine, if they want me to use my own personal car and charge mileage, I will do it, fiscal court approval, I'll put it up for sale date. I don't really give a shit, okay? But enough's enough. Okay, it's being used for multiple things. Also, rumor has it that we're in the red. It's awful, we're broke. All right, wherever I came in January of 2023, we looked at December 2022's cash flow. The general fund had $2.6 million in it. Okay, as of today, it's almost $3.7 million. Okay, so I don't know about your math, but my math says it's going up, it's not declining. All right, and we're getting stuff done. We're trying to progress here in Powell County, and it seems like a group just does not want us to progress. Okay. But we will keep on doing what we're doing, and that's it. That's all I've got to say. Rumor control. I don't see anybody in here right now that is complaining. Facebook warriors. All right. If they want to come down and confront us, that's fine. Come on down. We're transparent. Okay. If you want to see a receipt, I'll show you receipts. If you have a question, I'll give you an answer. If I do something wrong, I will tell every one of you. If I do something wrong, come tell me. Constructive criticism, I'm fine with that. But, this stuff that making stuff up, enough is enough. Stop, please. Simple as that. All right? As far as our departments and stuff, our departments does one heck of a job. We're playing catch up. Like I said before, where we came in, most departments was making $10 an hour. Now they're up to $12 and $13, $14 an hour. Okay, still that's not enough money, but we're going in the right direction. Simple as that. And we want to further them along, get them. I'd love to see them up to $16, $18 an hour. Okay, but we need to work on it to do this. Wherever you look at almost $3.7 million. Okay, if it's in my bank account, that'd be a lot of money. But whenever you're operating on a county, that's not a lot of money. All right, but we're trying. And I just want to make sure that everybody's aware of that.
Not looking at what Kevin stated before, to replace what we used to have, what'd you say, $12 million in the
10 to 12, yeah.
10 to 12, okay, so always in the back of my mind is thinking, how are we gonna do that?
Mm-hmm.
Because this is people's life.
Yeah.
It's life and safety.
And that's another thing. All right. Whenever I go out on these calls, I don't get extra checks. I don't get a fire department check. I don't get a sheriff's department check, and I don't get a paramedic check.
Well, I'm gonna get you to CDL license, we get a free drive.
And everything. We're a group here. It's a team effort, and we're a small county, and everybody has to do what they have to do to make people safe and secure. Just the same as Kevin and Troggett helping Tim, the road department helping Tim helping the road department. It's everybody working together. But I can assure you, and Connie and the fiscal court can attest, I do not get any extra checks. All right? Just one check. That's it.
How many lives did it save?
Oh, God.
Yeah, I mean, seriously. And
Well,
the same people that's freaking.
I can tell you, it took 3 people to the hospital, one being a small baby that fell in Baker apartment, was placed in a car seat because there was not an ambulance available. He transported to the hospital.
You got any extra money for that?
No, I did not.
You saved a lot, don't you?
Well, we tried to.
There you go.
That's the reason why I've been a paramedic for 30, well, in emergency medical service for 36 years. You know, and I'm not gonna ride this horse to death, but I am a public servant. You know, in that Tahoe, in that new Tahoe, there is.
You ain't doing no more, you know, worry it out.
There is medical equipment in there. There is fire equipment in there. There's police equipment in there, and there's road equipment. How many times have we been out cutting trees and stuff?
I was cutting you on honking holler one night, you showed up at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Here you come walking up to the
And
place.
that's the thing, that truck is a multi-use vehicle. It's just not for me to drive it and keep it in the air condition. You know, we use that truck.
If one of us needed it or calling or somebody, it's there. Right?
Yeah, oh yeah,
Right.
you're more welcome to use it.
There you go.
But, you know, we are a team here, and it's gonna stay a team. And, you know, I just wanna make sure we set the record straight, because, you know, and if you don't believe me, come down. Come
The
down.
ATV hits an ABC.
Oh, that's another thing. That's another thing. I purchased a side-by-side. All right? For, I guess for my personal use, okay? No, the side-by-side was purchased by alcohol beverage control money, okay? That is, and it's gonna be used at Hollywood. You know, yeah, it's right out back. If anybody wants to look at it, it's sitting right back there. It's never at my house, you know. I have had the safety classes on it to drive it and stuff. I have driven it before, on a search and rescue mission over on Beachport, you know. But you know, it's gonna be used for patrol up in Hollywood, because we get a lot of complaints about, ATVs, UTVs up there. And we're going to utilize that through ABC, alcohol beverage control, to have them to saturate the area with patrol and catch our DUIs and AI drinkers. Right? So that's, and trespassers, and, you know, and the locals actually, one was in yesterday complaining about UTVs that have tore a fence down inside, standing in the yard urinating, and you know, throwing beer cans and stuff. You know, we've got to take care of the locals. You know, and I a person I talked to up there, they said, you can't do that. You know, what about the tourists? You know, our economic impact. All right, let me tell you something. We take care of the local people first. That's simple as that. And that's what we're going to do. If we have to go up there, and like I've told Hollywood, if they tell these people, calm it down, you know, be respectful to the locals, I have no problems. But whenever they start that, we're going to have a problem, and we're going to solve the problem. All right. So that's the reason why that UTV was bought. It was bought out of alcohol beverage control money. And one thing about ABC money, we have to use that money. If we don't use that money and we carry it over, we could lose our percentage of collections. It will go from 6% down to 4%.
You can't carry it on, can you?
No, it's supposed to be it's supposed to be a zero balance. And that's the thing, you know, that's one of the things that we've used to purchase it with. Because, you know, I'll be honest with you, you know, I'm not going to lose 2%. And once you lose that 2%, you're not bringing it back. You're not getting it back. You know, it's not wait 2 years and get it back. You know, you lose it, it's gone. So,
And you, the county did not buy middle forks at UTV either.
No.
They bought that themselves. the rescues, and it is.
Yes.
And it's been out on several rescues.
Yes, it has.
It was out in training Friday night.
Yeah.
For, for off-road vehicle rollover.
You have to have training there.
Yes.
You do have to have everybody's certifications
Yes.
on file.
Yes.
They're the only people who can use it. You can
And,
apply.
and guess who has the keys? Dispatch. Dispatch, if you come up here, you have to get the keys from them. They know who's been trained and who hasn't been trained. If you haven't been trained, guess what? You don't get to use it. True?
I haven't signed up, so if you
All right.
take it.
All right. So, I'm off my soapbox now. All right? One person that I did miss back there that I said is Kevin and
And Neil.
Neil, yeah, Neil Bowe.
Where you go?
I got to think about y'all. Kevin O is Assistant Tax Administrator. You want to tell us what's been going on in your part of the world?
I'm not prepared for this tonight. I'm doing a little other things today, but roughly we're at about $68,000 on what we've collected on the business license fees. That starts again July the 1st. And like I said before, it's helped us capture some occupational taxes, but the main thing is it's brought in some net profit taxes as well, without killing somebody when we're doing this.
Yeah.
We're working on the letters that go out now for the occupational taxes for this quarter and the renewal on the business licenses. Roughly around 380 or so. That's what we have.
And one of the things that, and I want to remind everybody the reason why that Kevin is working with us is his main objective is collecting business license fees and stuff. That way we collect the business license, we get some occupational license, occupational fees and stuff on it. And by that, guess what we're doing? That's bringing an extra income in that is going to help us whenever CSEP goes out. It's not the foolproof solution, but it's going to help. And by that helping, that lessens us doing more drastic things.
So this money, does it go back into the general fund or?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So, and people ask about, raising taxes and all that stuff, I'll be the first one to say that I don't want to raise taxes or anything like that. Because, along with you all paying taxes, guess who else has to pay? Me. So I pay enough taxes. But we're looking at several options. We have until January 2025, and we'll go from there. But thank you, Kevin. Thank you, job you're doing, and along with all that, he keeps me in line. Him and Connie and Stephanie, they keep me in line too. They keep me on the right track. And I do appreciate that. Anything else, Kevin?
No.
Neil?
I'm good. We're down on state inmates. David Howard is sending in requests every day. He's requesting 18 to 20. We'll get maybe 6. It's like that all over the state. We're getting them just as quick as we can get them. And we're going to be looking at maybe trying to get a couple of different programs in order to fill that void, because that's not coming quick enough.
How much are you losing on that?
You're losing 45-34 a day for a guy times 18. So it's 30,000 a month by not having them. We went there for a month and a half, maybe almost 2 months, and couldn't request them. So we're kind of getting scratched right now. Couldn't be helped, it just is what it is. But we're going to be looking at some different routes.
So in the future, does it look like that the inmates are the population's going to come back up, or?
There is something coming down the pipe that is going to make the pool a lot less. draw from. As far as, getting SAP male inmates in.
So let me ask you a question on that, where we have SAP, or 4 SAP instructors. Is that something that we may have to,
If it don't come up, then we'll have to take it down to 3.
but we just hired, you just hired one, didn't you?
We did. We couldn't request some more until we got that 4th.
Yeah.
And we've got enough right now for the 4th, for the extra one. But, I mean, if we lose 6 of them, you know, we won't be able to maintain that. But we've got a new bed.
Jail getting more than anybody?
There is not. So David is reaching out to him today and telling him, he sent an email out to him. That's all he was doing this evening, probably after 2 o'clock, sending emails out to the Department of Corrections. I told him to tell him if they was out in western Kentucky, it didn't matter, we'd still take them. Cause whenever you send in the list, all they send you is the ones in the radius. So if we've gotta drive 3-4 hours to get them, so worth it.
Yeah.
So he sent that out. I do know that, Fulton County has got their school, they asked for 12, they got 12. So,
Seems like Fulton gets everything down there.
well, they're at the farthest, they're Mississippi, you know, they're down there where they can draw from everywhere out there, so, I mean, they're about to, them in Graves County, you know, Graves trying to rebuild theirs after the tornadoes took it out. Davies County's got a big facility too, but that's about falls down there that's really competes with us.
Do you wanna kind of give them a heads up on that, little conference call we had with, about the insurance?
So, there's a company that, had reached out to us about supplying insurance to people that had not been sentenced. I was very standoffish about it, never had heard of that. I got in contact with, Paula Holden. Paula had never run across it, and that's the field she's in. So she had, reached out to some of her contacts at the Department of Corrections. They told her, that everything looked legit, so we had a conference call with them. Basically, everybody that comes in off the street, with the exception of state, you enroll them, in insurance. You gotta call yourself and do the enrollment on them. And, there's a $2,000 deductible per year, just like me or you would have, you know, insurance. It's part of the CARES Act. So they would have insurance, and whenever they get out, they would, you know, be able to continue right on with it. It don't cost them nothing for it. It does pay, you know, we've had a lot of people in the past year that we've paid way over $2,000 on, and they don't have. So anything, there's 2,000, you gotta pay the first 2,000, of course, we're already paying that now anyway. But after that, that's whenever the insurance would kick in. And it's legit insurance company there.
Is there anything that would deny them for it? Like if they come in with cancer or something like that, they already knew they had cancer?
I would say there's probably some pre-existing stuff on it, but he didn't act like there was.
No.
If you get it today, if you get the insurance today, and, you know, a lot of people, they go to the doctor, they don't maintain, take care of themselves like they should. They don't really find out something's wrong with them until they get to jail.
Start going to the doctor.
Start going to the doctor, and, so, yeah, it's day one, as soon as we call and sign them up, day one, they're covered.
And that can affect the, health insurance that we're covering right now, as far as, cost pool and.
That could, we just have to take our cost pool up, you know, to 130,000, or 100,000.
Yeah, 100,000.
And it's, from 30,000 to 100,000. I mean, that could take it back to work. We could afford it.
Sounds too good to be true.
Well, the good thing is, anything that we don't spend that cost pool, we get back.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we've got nothing to lose to try it.
Good.
Remind Paula,
Yep.
contract next month.
She's supposed to get it done before I get to y'all.
All right.
And I'll probably just email it to you. Good.
Anything else?
I have nothing, that's it.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very well.
All right, we'll go to new business.
Sorry for that.
We'll start out with Chris Chaney.
Well, I'm Chris Cheney, I'm the zoning administrator for the city. I am partially representing the planning commission. Oh wait, Mike, I gave you mine. Side note. Sorry. I'd like to present an opportunity. The planning commission last month voted to recommend to the city council to hire a building inspector. So on Thursday at the city council meeting, I'm going to present the same thing to the city council. To hire a building inspector. I've done a lot of research into what we need to do to have a building inspector. As far as I can tell, we've never had one. As long as we've had planning and zoning in the city since '92, we're gonna have a building inspector. I think there've been a couple times in the past where they proposed it and it's just never really taken off. I think we may have had one for a real short period of time. Can't remember the gentleman's name. But what I'm proposing is potentially a joint building inspection program between Stanton Planning Commission and the county. Now, up front, the county could choose on its own to adopt the building code and start a building inspection program in the absence of planning and zoning. You don't have to have planning and zoning to do that. You could choose to have just a building inspection program, require a permit for construction, hire a building inspector, contract with a building inspector. But what I'm proposing is that we could kind of combine forces and maybe be a little bit more efficient. In the planning and zoning department, I have a permit system in place where we can track permits, track inspections, that kind of thing. We're paying for that. We already have a permitting system in place, a fee structure and all that, which we can amend if we need to. And kind of my thought is, however we do this, if this is something that you would be interested in pursuing, you know, we could look at we need to do an interlocal agreement through DLG. And as far as the fees go, anything that was in the county, everything except whatever admin fee we need to do to keep the program going would go to the county as revenue, the permit fees. So I'm not looking for, more money for the city. It's basically just to kind of help get the program going for everybody. But it would also kind of centralize permitting. I get a lot of phone calls from people out in the county. They'll call and say, hey, I need to get a permit for a new structure. And I'm like, where you at? And they say, Cat Creek. I'm like, okay, well, that's in the county. You actually got to call the county. So, I mean, if we had a centralized program, I think that would be a little bit more efficient, a little bit less confusing for people. I've already got the background and the experience to do the reviews. But at least the initial part, there would be a zoning review, because the county doesn't have zoning, but it would be that initial intake of the permit, process the permit, and then coordinate with the building inspector to do the inspections and all that, and close out the permit deed. And so basically, something to consider. The building inspector, I don't know how familiar you all are with building inspection. To be a certified building inspector, you have to take exams through the Kentucky Department of Building, Housing, and Construction. You can be a level 1, level 2, level 3. A level 3 would be able to inspect anything up to, I think what the guy was telling me the other day was a high hazard, which is like hazardous industrial. But if they're level 3, they can inspect any commercial, any, most institutional, I think anything except a state building, basically. And then the high hazard. Level 1 would only do like residential, basically. Level 2, I think, is residential, certain level of commercial. I've actually had a gentleman reach out to me, because he had heard that we were interested in it, and he offers, services for building inspection. He's out of Lexington. The last 2 pages of the staple thing that you have is the fee schedule, the proposed fee schedule that he sent me. And basically what he would need to be able to provide the services to us. I think there's probably a lot of details we'd have to hammer out to make it work, but I just kind of wanted to present this to you all and maybe start the discussion.
Would you inspect them in stages?
Yeah, so you'd have like a footing foundation inspection, a framing inspection, and then, then there's the separate electrical and plumbing inspections that would occur separate from the building inspector, but would be coordinated with the building inspector. And then
So they call you before they go to the next stage?
Well,
Or somebody?
once we do the initial intake, then the building inspector they would schedule all that with the building inspector, directly with them to, they call and say, hey, okay, I'm ready for my framing inspection. And then the building inspector would issue, after he does his final inspection, he would issue a certificate of occupancy. I get a lot of calls for those, realtor, appraiser, somebody will call up and say, is there a certificate of occupancy on the building? We've never done that. So I've started doing that from a zoning standpoint, but it doesn't ensure that the building is compliant with building code or anything like that. The importance of all of this, having a good building inspection program increases and preserves property values. It means that, it's ensuring that structures are built to a minimum standard. It helps protect homeowners from, unscrupulous and unskilled contractors. They have to build it to a minimum standard. They can't shortcut things. They can't use substandard materials. Ruth Jones was going to come. She's on my board of adjustment. She had a horrible experience when she bought her house in town. She's gone through, there's no insulation in the exterior walls, there's electrical issues and all this, and the house was flipped at some point. So she's got all of this, she's really frustrated with the house that she thought she was gonna buy and live in until she's gone. And now she's got a pile of problems with it. I'm sure we all know instances where somebody's done work on somebody's house and come back and it's been substandard.
So if you flip a house, you gotta get a permit?
Yeah.
Building permit?
Yeah.
Is it a fee every time you inspect a different section?
That I'm not 100% sure about. I'd have to go back and.
Or would it be one price for the entire house?
Most time it's every time they show up.
Yeah, there's a separate fee for each inspection, but it's a set fee. It's not that the inspector shouldn't be able to come to you and charge you twice what he charges the guy next door.
Yeah.
And there would have to be some oversight to that to make sure that the inspector was doing it. We've got a permit program in place, a tracking program, and that program would allow anybody to go in and look and see what fees were paid when. So that tracks that better than just an inspector out in the field taking cash for something. So there would be a lot more kind of oversight from that standpoint. I think to keep it all above board and fair. But I put some information in there. The first step in that for if the county opted to do it on their own, if we do this as a joint thing, however it would happen, the first step would be you would pass an ordinance to adopt the Kentucky Building Code. And then if we did the joint thing, there would be an interlocal agreement. We'd have to work out all the details.
I guess the main question is how much? How
As
much
far
it
as
will cost us? Yeah.
Well, in theory, it wouldn't cost anything out of pocket. If we were to go with somebody like the guy that's offering the services, it would be a contract with him, and his fees would come out of permit fees.
Okay.
So it wouldn't be, we wouldn't be paying somebody full time, it wouldn't be benefits and all that, it would just be, we'd have a contract with him, he would provide the services and collect the fees.
I think we're behind on getting it. We've needed this for a long time.
I mean, there's a lot of things you gotta look at, you be bonded, insured.
I presume so, we have to look at what requirements we.
I wanna be careful, but is it just for like living, like if you're building houses or?
It would be residential, commercial, industrial. Cabins.
Yeah, I mean, anything you're gonna live in.
Right,
No,
right.
like barns.
It would include most structures. Other than, I think if it's less than 200 square feet,
Okay.
so like a shed or something, it wouldn't include that, but anything over 200 square feet, there would be a permit of building fee.
But you can still get farmers in on that.
Yeah, that's a good point. If it's an agricultural property, it's a whole different.
Even residential, you can get farms in, as long as you got 10 acres or better, you can get it.
Hey, we are, you see some of these cabins?
But I mean, it's revenue that the county's losing.
Okay.
And it's
It really
honestly,
is.
it's revenue the city's
Farmers
losing.
Yeah. Across the mountain, yeah. Yeah, there's about 5 cabins that they, went over inspected and, deemed them unsafe, so.
Yes. So I know we've had discussions about it. I've talked to a lot of different people about, especially all the vacation rental development that's going on. They're building on steep slopes and building it.
A lot of people just build them up as quick as they can.
Right. For the quick turn.
Efficient, yeah.
Yeah. And so this would at least give us the ability to check that and make sure that those are being built to a minimum standard.
I agree, I think we need it. You know, a lot of people would argue or differ, but, you know, it's
I think
more
it'll
about
save them in the
safety.
long run.
Yeah, it will, it's a safety issue
Right.
versus anything else.
It protects the people that are living in the structures now or visiting the structures. It protects the people down the road. If I sell my house to somebody else and I can say, here's a certificate of occupancy, here's the inspection list from when the house was built or the addition was put on, they can have a little bit of assurance that it was built to a standard and there was some accountability.
And most of this is gonna be by contractors, right?
Yeah.
Instead of just your
Well,
homeowners, you know,
right.
well, homeowners are usually gonna be just building a little addition or something like that.
Right.
No big deal.
And I think in some places they'll do something where it's a homeowner's permit, basically you're kind of signing a waiver that I'm not a licensed contractor, which right now we don't have any licensing requirements, and I don't think we necessarily have to have that to have this program. That could be a step down the road if we realize we need it, is that you would have to be a licensed contractor or pull a homeowner.
I think it's a good idea. Is that something that we wanna kind of review and talk to our county attorney?
Let's look at
see
all
what-
of it.
what he says and.
Like I said, Thursday I'm gonna talk to city council, and from the city standpoint, we could decide to go ahead and do it. But I wanted to talk to you all early on and get the discussion going, and if it's something that the court wants to do, then.
You talked to Clay City too?
Well, I haven't talked to Clay City, I can't. Now, well, yes, that's a good idea. But they're so, they're having trouble getting the planning and zoning going. It would be beneficial. I think there's a little bit more hurdles with Clay City, but I don't see any reason why we couldn't include Clay City as well. And they need it as much as everybody else.
Well, even if they don't play, they'd still be under the county.
Oh, yeah. Right.
So, you know, if it pleases the court, you know, we'll go ahead, and we'll table it.
Yeah.
And then until, their next fiscal court meeting,
Sounds good.
and, let's do some research and.
So who would have jurisdiction? I mean, who
Well,
would be over this?
okay, so kind of what the way I'm thinking is that if it's in the county, it would be, you would adopt the Kentucky Building Code.
Yeah.
And the way they recommended that to me is you adopt just the general Kentucky Building Code. You don't, because the codes, the IBC and the Kentucky Building Code, they're on by year. And if you specify the year, then the problem is if they change the code, then you've got to change your ordinance. So he said just do a general Kentucky Building Code, which I think that's what's in this model ordinance that's in here. And then so that would really kind of be the ruling document about how it's all handled. In the county, anything would fall back to the county really on how that works. What I'm proposing is just that from an administrative standpoint, we kind of all run through state planning and zoning. You don't have to do that, so that's why I wanted to lead out with that. You could choose to do it on your own. My thought is we're combining resources and we're in a sense gonna save money from that standpoint, just from the administrative side of it. I'm a firm believer that the less duplication you have, the better we are. Like you said earlier, it's teamwork. We're all part of the same community.
That's it.
If you have any questions, want to discuss any of it, have any questions about the stuff that's in here, whatever, let me know. I can talk about it all day long.
We can do that. If it's all right, we'll go ahead and take a look.
We'll come back.
Okay. The other thing I wanted to bring up there is another single page, requesting consent for territorial jurisdiction. I have my glasses, I could wear those. KRS 100, .131, KRS 100, basically is the enabling legislation for all planning and zoning statewide. Under the areas of jurisdiction, it says any independent city planning unit or members of a joint planning unit. So Stanton Planning and Zoning is an independent city unit. May exercise extraterritorial jurisdiction for the purpose of subdivision regulation and other regulations up to 5 miles from all points upon the city's boundary with the consent of the fiscal court, but not beyond the county boundary nor within the boundary of any city not the planning unit. And then our subdivision regulations from 1992, based on that statute, say it shall be unlawful for any person being owner, agent, or person having control of any land in Stanton and or the unincorporated areas of Powell County up to 5 miles by air from the city limits of Stanton to subdivide or lay out such land in lots before a street, blah, blah, blah. Basically, it's saying that the city of Stanton has the jurisdiction with the consent of the fiscal court to enforce subdivision regulations up to 5 miles from the city limits boundary, which is almost all of the county, except for the furthest east and west edges.
Is that road naming and all that?
Well, it's subdivision regulations, and I can provide you all our existing subdivision regulations. We're gonna start looking into updating those, because they were written in '92.
Could that be something part of y'all's work?
But
We're governed by the 911 service board, no, we have no.
But how that comes into play, the subdivision regulations, it's all about if you subdivide land, if you combine land, so if you combine 2 lots, if you adjust a lot line between 2 lots, any of those processes would fall under this. But where I think that's really important is in the big lot subdivisions we're getting.
So it's the, if you read somebody building a subdivision, you go out and see they're not in compliance, can you stop?
Yeah, yeah, it would, whatever our, legal mechanisms within the regulations are in the city, that would apply as well. So if somebody.
That would eliminate the problem you had with the homestead.
It would.
Well, that's
Yeah.
in place now.
Yeah, well,
I don't know, would that necessarily have caught it where the city annexed that property? I mean, that, I don't know.
You're talking about homestead.
Yeah, it might have.
Let me just be really candid about that. From what I can tell, what I've seen, it was just executed poorly, the whole thing. The subdivision wasn't reviewed properly, it wasn't, they didn't hold the developers to their regulations, they let them get away with not doing things they were supposed to do, it just wasn't done.
Mm-hmm.
That said, in that case, before it was annexed, which I think it was annexed first and then subdivided, I believe.
I'm not sure about it.
I think that's what I've seen. But regardless, if it hadn't been annexed, they would have been subject to the city subdivision regulations and would have had to have met road widths, minimum lot sizes, sidewalks, drainage, anything in the subdivision regulations. Road radiuses, we talked about that, like, you know, you've got people that are building switchback roads up the side of the hill to get to cabins, and can you turn a fire apparatus on those curves? So this would give the ability to stop people and say, no, you can't configure it that way, you have to meet these minimum standards. And it goes back to what I said before, it's minimum standards. It's not really imposing anything on people that they shouldn't be doing. It's preventing people from making mistakes that cause problems down the road, like not being able to get the fire truck to a cabin sometimes. Also, you could look at things like, the county could look at things like, in the city, we don't have steep slopes, but you could pass ordinances that say if it's on a slope excess of whatever, you know, you can't build, or if it's rocky terrain or something like that. That could be reviewed through the process. It wouldn't be that the city had that jurisdiction, the county would have that jurisdiction to be able to impose those regulations, but in the review process, it would give us the ability to say, hey, these are the requirements that the county has for subdivisions. We've also created a technical review committee, and from talking to Kevin, I realized I sent them to the wrong places because I sent one to Larry and I sent one to Kevin. But the technical review committee is basically, when we get a new subdivision, the committee is not individuals that are appointed to the committee, it's the position at whole. So the floodplain coordinator, the emergency management coordinator, chief of the fire department, police, they will look at the subdivision, the proposal, and weigh in on things that they see to be potential problems, or, you know, if they have certain requirements for different things that they can say, hey, as a condition of approval of this subdivision, they need to include these things.
But some of our cabins are not first fire approved.
Right, right. I think this would probably be like a separate ordinance, but then would also be included in a review. Well, in Colorado, they have, it's called defensible space, and basically, if you build a new structure or you add more than 400 square feet to an existing structure, residential structure, you have to have somebody come out and do what's called defensible space, which is basically you clear certain materials and all that. And so that's something that would give the county the ability to pass an ordinance to that effect, and then it be reviewed at that point of subdivision code. So in the absence of planning and zoning, it would give you a little bit more say in how these developments occur. At least to be able to kind of preserve health, safety, and welfare of the community. So. Well, okay, so with that one, the way it's written, in KRS and in the subdivision regulations, the city would have the authority to give the consent. I don't know exactly what the consent would be in this case, and the only thing I'm not real sure about is that could have been done in '92. I haven't done the research, I haven't gone back through the fiscal court minutes or anything like that. They could have set it up that way in '92 when they adopted zoning and approved the subdivision regulations. I don't know. So that's why I'm coming to you now. I didn't want to just start doing that.
Yeah. Is that something we can go ahead and table off of until we kind of put it into?
I think we just need to figure out what that consent is.
Yeah.
If that means it's a resolution, or if it has to be an ordinance, or how that would work. I don't know that.
I would, if the court decides to do that, I would like something in writing that's submitted as an like a resolution that is readily accessible in the future.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Someone can pull out and say, here it is.
Right. And that's what I want there to be, you know, I want it to be legitimate and a paper trail so we can just say this is why we're doing it.
Let me ask you this, if you know, so if they give consent, can they in the future also take it away?
That's what
I would imagine so. Yeah. I don't know why. I don't know why.
I'd like to look at that too.
Yeah. I can ask KLC or maybe DLG, I'm sure they've done that before, and see what the exact steps would be. But, you know, it's one of those things, I feel like it's an opportunity to help kind of manage some of this stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And we're kind of already in place to do it, and this is something that I've been doing all along, so we wouldn't have to find somebody that's qualified, get them up to speed, pay them another salary. We're already kind of there. I will say that we probably would need to hire somebody else at some point if we get really busy, but, you know, I think with the revenue that would come in for the development fees and permit fees and that kind of thing, I think it would support that.
Okay. Well,
So
if it's y'all's wishes, we'll table it, review it, and
okay.
I'll talk to our legal advisor.
I'll do some more research and I'll come back next month.
Robert King.
All right. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, next is motion to approve House Bill 556, contract. And,
That's the money that we get from the jail. We have to sign this, the contracts from July 24 to 6/26.
And how much money, I know it varies, but
Yeah,
it's
I mean,
less,
yeah,
pretty good,
yes.
substantial amount of money. So.
Yes, it keeps it, it's good. It's good money.
Yeah.
If they didn't have it, then we'd probably been in bad shape, so. You don't
need nothing on that, do you?
Yeah, we'll need a
Yeah, he made a
motion
motion
to
to-
approve. You make a motion to approve the, contract?
Yeah.
Second by J.L., all in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Anybody opposed likewise? All right. Next one, and I'm having a brain fart on this, motion to approve flex funds agreement and resolution. I don't think we mentioned the resolution part of it, on that, do we, Connie?
No, this is what Craig said,
Yeah.
So there is an agreement and a resolution.
Yeah. Any questions on the agreement or the resolution?
We passed the agreement, so I make a motion to pass the resolution.
Okay. Second? Mike Lockard, all in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Anybody opposed likewise? And, we talked about the, Flex Road recommendations. Next is, motion to approve second reading of, 24-25 budget. Any questions on the approval on the budget, new budget?
It went to Frankfurt, everything was good, I sent it back, so after we do the second reading, it's done.
Yeah. Speak now, forever hold your peace.
I'll make a motion, sir.
Motion by JL.
Where's the road go? Where is that?
What?
On the.
Deputies.
Okay, on the phone.
Yeah.
Okay. That's how I found it, that's it.
Did you second it? Or-
I second it.
Second it, all in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Anybody opposed likewise? All right, motion carries. Next is a motion to approve the new fiscal year 24-25 CAECO Anthem healthcare insurance. Basically the same insurance we've had. It's going up, what, 5%?
It was 6.5%, I've never seen it that low in my life. The dental did go up 5%, cause it was utilized a lot, but the health insurance, I've never seen it that low. So,
Counties are happy.
he said we come in lower than almost any county. So they was bragging on that part, so. But the customer service is good. There's one guy that I talk to all the time, Chris. If you email him on the weekends, he'll email you back, so. But I think that makes a difference.
Yeah, go ahead.
We have to meet him, Connie, and re-sign it.
Yeah,
Any
the 20,
changes?
it's the last week, this month. I think it's a Monday and Tuesday, and you have to waive it, you have to sign either way. If you're gonna sign up, or you have to waive it. There has to be a signature.
Me and Justin will not be here that week. Plus, we've got a couple of employees that are probably getting ready to come off of where they can get the insurance, but not get the insurance. You know, they've not met the 90 days.
Yeah.
So what do we need to do? Let them come or wait?
They probably, I will wait till the 90 days, and then we
Okay.
can get them.
I didn't know if you needed X
paperwork.
amount to get this rate or not. I know
No,
before,
no.
you had to have
They-
X amount of employees to get a rate.
Yeah, they've already done all that, so,
Just please remind me.
yeah, JL, I've got me a note, JL, to.
All right. So do I have a motion to approve?
Yeah.
Motion by Mike, second by JL. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Anybody opposed likewise? All right, motion carries. Next, if it's all right, we'll just, table this homestead. I hadn't had enough time to talk to Robert, so, we'll table that till next meeting. Next is motion to approve, Powell County Health 25 tax rates.
And you all have it in front of you. She just sent this yesterday, and asked if I can put it on the agenda. The rest of them will be coming in months to come, but we can go ahead and do this one, get this one out of the way.
Any questions on the rate? It basically looks like it's 8 cents, per $100.
Yeah, she said they was keeping them the same.
Yeah, everything's gonna be still the same as it was.
I make
Motion by Mike to accept, second by JL to accept. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anybody opposed likewise? All right, motion carries. Next is I know the one that y'all really hate to see is make sure I didn't miss anything here. Next is motion to adjourn.
Second.
May I be heard?
Yes, ma'am, who are you?
Maybe I did not get on the agenda. My name is Jenny Frazier. I'm the current developer of the cabins of Birch Hollow, and I'm here to request a road name for a private road so I can get a 911 address. I've talked to them.
Yeah.
Yes.
You need to, wasn't there a court battle between you and Greg Crabtree over the?
That's in a different section.
Okay.
Yes. And the problem or the issue when I spoke with you both is that the county, I believe, has it as Dale Hollow Road. The PBA calls it Birch Hollow Road, and then the state said it was no road. And so you told me to go and talk to the other owners, even though I control the majority of the land where the road is laid out. The owners are non-responsive. I've gotten one of the other 6 owners that have replied to me, but other than that, we have construction that's going up, and we need a 911 address so we can get electric.
We had talked to Robert there, because before we were having everybody to get an agreement together.
Yes.
If Robert remember, we had talked about when they were gonna name these roads, and he said like if one property owner, Robert, didn't you say after we checked part of that, they could come in and submit that road name? And as long as they claim they own that property, it can be named like it's private.
Is this the same road, same?
Yeah, it's that Birch Hollow, remember, because
I do remember that.
a section of that was she's had a conflict with like a property, so we got her the distance where the county road would end, and this is
Yes.
the new section. But before, from, the old Bluegrass said, they wanted a signed agreement with everybody before they put it in of all property owners and forward that up, if you remember, which we've got rid of Bluegrass ad now, they kindly failed us quite a bit.
Right.
They did. Are you all right if she claims to be one of the owners of that without like, and I'm not saying she would tell us anything differently. You know, if she says she owns this and we want that she wants to name this road, can we do that without the other property owners coming forward and agreeing with it? Are we good with just going off of one person now?
So I guess I'm a little confused about what you're saying, because are you saying she owns the property, but then you're talking about other property owners?
Could it affect other people, Jenny?
Yes, actually,
Yes.
it's on it's on an 84-acre parcel, all right? There are 17 plotted lots between half an acre to an acre, but the remaining 70 acres is mine. So of the 84 acres that's in here, I have 88% of it that is either in mine or I control interest in it. However, there are 6 other owners with half-acre to 1-acre parcels on this road. I've tried to get their consent to just pick a name so we can get a 911 address, otherwise we cannot get electric.
Yeah, that is the truth with Clark
Right,
Energy.
and
They're
we've
not
got
gonna
something,
sign you up.
they will not.
Don't have a name now.
Well, it's Dale Hollow Road, according to, I believe, the county GIS mapping. But if you look at plats and the PBA, they're calling it Birch Hollow Road, which I believe is incorrect.
See,
Is this off of South Fork?
It is.
Yes, as you go off of Birch Hollow Road,
Yeah.
all right, and you go up,
To the right? I'm looking at
it's,
my-
it's.
What it county consists of, just like what we're at, it was.
All right, so
developed.
where it goes around, this is a dog leg off of Birch Hollow Road, so it's not Birch Hollow Road.
I call it bootleg.
Yeah, bootleg.
Well, and Bootleg Ridge is another road, this is a third road off of that, and it has been Dale Hollow Road or Dale Hollow Trail for the 18 years it's been platted, but it's never been official.
Okay. It's never been sent up to Bluegrass Ad, basically. But what it is for Clark Energy, you have to have a 911 address to get power. However, it's like this.
So this ain't no county road or nothing?
No.
No, it is not a county road.
But it's not, but with what's been sent up, what Patrick sends up to the state, names of private roads, it's what we run into with Bluegrass Ad. This Hideaway Lane, he has listed as Hideaway Lane. Well, her plat, it names it, say for instance, Dale Hollow, she
It
calls
names it Birch Hollow.
Or Birch Hollow
plat.
Road.
Right.
But see, through the 911 addressing, if you don't name it the way it's already been without a submitted progress,
gonna screw it all up.
She could end up just like the lady on Hideaway Lane and Cherry Blossom. So that's why we were having all property owners to get together and agree, because if that property owner has sold a lot, called it Birch Hollow Road, she names it something else on a mortgage, we had to fix some with Citizens Guarantee Bank, it messes that mortgage up.
Right.
Because they've got two different locations that they're selling lots. See what I'm saying?
Yeah. And to your point, the lots have been platted since 2006, but no construction has started. But now we fixed the roads and construction is going in. So I want to get it named so we can move forward. And the confusing part is that Birch Hollow Road is Park County Road that is county maintained, right? You can.
Yes, ma'am. That's where we got you the distance.
Exactly, right. And so then beyond it, Birch Hollow Road continues, but it's not county maintained. But what this will then do is then have another circle back. It's very confusing. So it's not Birch Hollow Road.
We actually came and looked at it last week.
Okay.
We sure did. We were there last week.
It's easier if you call it Dale Hollow Road. I love the name. It's a different road. It's not Birch Hollow Road. It's not a county road. But before this goes in, we just need to have a name so we can pick it and move forward.
Are there other people already living out there?
No.
Nobody living there,
No
but there
one
are
lives
lots.
there. There are platted lots that have been platted since 2006.
See what your plat calls it, Birch
Right,
Hollow
the
Road?
plat, yes, the plat calls it Birch Hollow Road.
Yes.
Right.
What she'll run into, Robert, when which I know you're familiar with, real estate, when she takes this and records this plat, Birch Hollow Road, she calls it Dale Hollow Road. You take this to Clark and you show them your utility easement, they're gonna name them people Birch Hollow Road regardless if she calls it Dale Hollow Road, because of the plats, and Justin has these plats recorded.
So what would you have to do to get it changed to that?
Well, I'm currently.
I know you have to get.
Right, well, he told me I had to come into the fiscal court, because I cannot get consent with the other
Yes.
owners. Okay? They're all in other
I mean, if
states.
we give you the consent, like, what's the next thing?
Okay, well, I guess, Robert, your thoughts on where there's a survey plat that's already named. So do you gotta rename this survey plat to go record that for PVA purposes? Because it's drawn into this.
So this is a little bit different than what I understood you to be saying before.
Uh-huh.
What I understood, we talked about was a situation where a person comes in and says, I own this property.
Yes.
But that there may have been like some dispute as to whether or not they actually did or they didn't. And I was saying, if they come into you and they tell you I own it, then you get something in writing from them that says, I represent to you as the 911 mapping and addressing that I own it and I have the authority to name it.
Okay. Yeah, that's why we wanted her that, because these other owners that she can't get in contact with.
See, I believe there's a process for it when there's other owners on the road.
Yes, and we looked that up, and it is. Even though it's a private road, if they got a plat, this is gonna turn into Hideaway Lane and Cherry Blossom, because these people bought this as Cherry
We
Blossom.
looked at it. I mean, we actually.
We did.
So,
We
so
sure did.
let me tell you this, what I believe probably we should do, give me an opportunity to look at that.
Okay,
Because I think I can get you an answer as to what needs to be done.
okay.
I just can't recall off the top of my head.
It's been a while back, and we went and looked at it. We were there like last week. We tried to call you back from probably a what is that number, that office, 3476. Instead of the 4116 number, you called us on the 6408.
Yes.
You probably had a number from a 3476, I believe
Okay,
it is.
forgive me, I get a lot of phone calls.
I understand,
Yeah.
and, cause we called you, we actually went there because
Yeah.
Shannon Denniston is putting some cabins in up on the right arch of it where it comes back over.
On
And-
Bootleg Ridge.
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Here's what we run into over on what's called Three Sons Trail as well. Justin put a whole plat of this in. He built this in, sent it to Bluegrass Ad. They were never supposed to divide any lots. One guy went over there now, bought a lot. He divided that lot and it's messed everybody's address up. But the developer said, these are set lots, they're not gonna be, that's why we have that plat brought in. But he divided the plat.
Okay.
So now all them people have to start over. That's why we wanted the property owners, in compliance. So if there's 10 lots before you, 20 lots after you, everybody don't have to go back at some point and change, is they're addressed.
Can we keep it as Birch Hollow Road because it's on the plat?
I'm gonna say if I signed up for utilities, because they're gonna ask you for Clark Energy, they're gonna ask you for the plat with the utility easement. That's what they're gonna draw it off of,
Right.
unless you change that, I do believe, but I would ask Kyle Mann, I hooked you up with Kyle.
I've already talked to Kyle.
I would ask Kyle, when he builds that line into that, whether that's, overhead or if that's an underground, where
No,
this
it's gonna be
utility.
overhead, and I actually have surveyors that are out there, and we're waiting on the name of the road so that we can submit the plat, because we did have to add a utility easement so they can get up the road.
Yes,
I just
correct.
need a final call.
So we should be okay to just leave it, since it's already platted out?
Robert, what if you think them other owners come in and when he addresses this,
Well, this is what I think. And I think, just based on what I've seen in other situation statutes, and like if we have a county road and somebody's wanting to, change the name of a county road.
Right.
I think probably to get those people bound, that live out there, that you've talked to and have just kind of been lackadaisical about what they think about it or won't give you a response.
Right.
Would probably require notice to be sent to them that, hey, we're having a hearing and you're more than welcome to come, and if you don't wanna show up, that's fine, but you've been notified.
All right.
And then at that point, that's what I'm guessing that the
Okay.
statute says.
Yes.
We've looked at
We
it,
did,
we
yeah.
can find it, and we'll let you know that, okay?
If we had the hearing, if you don't mind me asking, would it be better to name it as Birch Hollow Road, which I think is confusing, but it's what's on the plat? Or could
I'd
we?
say if you're gonna go ahead and go with the hearing, if you wanna change it, that'd be the time to change it.
I mean, you all bought this survey plat. I can tell you, if you go tomorrow to sign up for Clark Energy and Justin gives you like 165 for, this lot here, they're gonna draw that, and that service address, not the mailing address where that bill will go to, that service address will be 165 Birch Hollow Road, because that's what's,
You'd have to get it
what
replatted.
that plat is, yes. The updated plat is what you, file in the clerk's office.
Yes.
Or the plat, that's what, the last thing on file they're gonna go with.
Okay.
Cause when you file that, the deed book and the page that goes in, the date that's filed and certified is the way they state that.
Right, now, if we make that Birch Hollow Road, there is now gonna have to be a connector between the existing Birch Hollow Road, where you went up the hill and went back. Up the hill is not Birch Hollow Road, but so it's, you have it down here, and then you have it up here. So I guess I'll have to get them to plat all of that now, that's Birch Hollow Road.
Well, like I said, if you're gonna go through the hearing process, just have it changed at that point in time.
Okay.
That makes you happy.
It
But
does.
you would have to get it replatted.
Yeah, you would.
Well, I've got surveyors out there anyway,
That'd be good.
because we had to put a utility easement into it, which we did file, we just haven't named the road.
Okay.
Yes.
So, yeah.
So my next step is it to,
Probably contact me with
Okay.
Robert King, I'm the county attorney. and so-
Wonderful.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm trying to look that up.
Thank you.
Hey, does any of this here, the one you all are having the lawsuit deal, does any of
Oh,
this?
that's over.
Oh, it's over, okay.
It's resolved.
Okay, good deal, once you get that fixed.
Yep, it's all- that's
6647.
all. This is all mine.
230.
Okay.
It's just four on the stand. What'd you say?
6647.
First Hollow ends here. You had to go up the hill and it's this way.
But does Birch Hollow connect to this when it goes up to the hill?
No. Technically, Birch Hollow Road ends here, and as you went up the hill to then, they're saying this is Birch Hollow here.
Yeah,
So
see,
it's
that's-
wrong, but I just need it resolved.
Yeah, who's your surveying guy?
Currently, I'm using Abacus out of Richmond,
Okay.
but this was done back in 2006.
Yeah, I was gonna say, that's an old
It's an old one,
survey.
yes.
It is.
Okay.
Yeah, I would want to change, because that'd be confusing.
Here's Robert's,
It would.
office number.
Did we ever, get something,
Like your
like
card.
with the
Oh,
clerk's
thank you.
office on plats, to where whenever they build these plats in and they've got these road names on them, that we could have, before they're officially
Oversight.
recorded, somebody bring it to me and let me approve the road because it's on it.
I think it's
So
great.
That's exactly what I was,
Mhm.
that would be, with the technical review committee, you would be on that as your position. And so when somebody submitted a plat for review, you would look at it and you could comment, that would be your,
Yes, I mean, to approve or deny these road names.
Yes.
Sound dates kind of correlated to the
Yep.
ordinance.
Right.
Can we
We're
look at
trying to
it?
do the address ordinance, you know, just to put up the 911 addresses, and so this is the
Yeah.
completion of the signage.
See, we don't use the A and B structures or anything like that, they just get straight numbers, and you know, a lot of them cabins, they're wanting to call it A and B, and you know,
Yep,
we don't allow that, I mean, part of our address ordinance says no on anything
I
like
agree.
that. And we don't wanna give you X amount of numbers, and then one of these other people subdivide a lot, then there's 2 lots, then it messes all your stuff, and you gotta start over. That's our purpose of everybody involved, but if you can't get a hold of them, like Robert's saying, you know, you've tried.
yep, I have tried. Wonderful. All right,
Sure.
I'll be in contact.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right, where were we? Adjourning? Adjourning? All right. We motion to adjourn. I had, Mike to, make the motion, and Chad second. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Aye.